Fly was doing such a great job at getting Baby Bay those openings. It gave so many opportunities for Dicey to frag out once that operator was in his hands. Both those players had an insanely standout performance.
And even on Split here, you saw how they got their first control was immense pressure mid. Pull utility out 100 Thieves, and you have a little bit easier of a rehit, rinse and repeat. But it seems like they're only having one good side. They have all this gusto, and then FaZe seem to fall apart, thinking they only maybe need a few rounds next time. Where's it going?
Yeah, I think it also speaks to, for 100 Thieves, they are a squad that is so incredibly good at adapting on the fly. Every time they take one of those tactical timeouts, when the coach comes in, when Stellar gets a new idea, they can rally back, fully commit to that idea on the fly, and be able to win out. I think there's a lot of lesser teams who would not have been able to make that 9-3 work.
One of the biggest problems for 100 Thieves in this series, though, is going to be how do we contain Baby Bay and Dicey, because you have this double op threat that 100 Thieves has not really seemed to have an answer for because of the fact that they don't really have a primary op.
I mean, everybody was talking about this earlier. Where's the primary op, right?
Yeah.
And what is one of the best ways in an FPS to counter hard aggression? Hold long angles with an op. They're flying around the corner, take one, get out of there, reposition. Where is the op, and is this well-rounded team enough to replace that?
My answer to that question is I think that they're actually in a good place even if they don't have the operator. I think the compositions that they play are very on brand for this meta. They're very much committed to talk about their Icebox. It's a European style with the Killjoy. They've been trying out some of the Fade. They're very willing to flex even their star players onto different agents, and I like that. They're not reliant on the operator, and I think that's going to be a movement for a lot of teams in the future that are very kind of strategic, very utility heavy. I think neither is good, really. Neither is bad. They're both valid options, but it just works specifically to the styles. Because if you're FaZe, you have Dicey. Why wouldn't you want him offing?
One thing I do think is really awesome that 100 Thieves haven't gone towards it is throughout your game, you don't worry about setting up for op economy at all.
Yeah.
You can continue, go back into your utility, know when gun rounds are going to be efficient, and maybe a second gun round because you're not going hard on econ there. So it's super interesting.
Yeah, and I think also it means they don't have to be chamber crutchers. We in North America love chamber.
That's true.
Everyone's going crazy for it. But not having a dedicated offer means that they're a lot more comfortable in playing the Raze as a primary duelist, playing duelist list comps, and also switching up who they're playing on the Sentinel. I think chamber is great, but I don't think he's a necessity on every map. I think in this meta, teams are undervaluing the Cypher and the Killjoy and what value they provide.
You just said a sin to everyone.
Well, let's not forget, too, that this team did face off against Xset in the upper bracket.
Yeah.
And who was it that inflicted immense amount of pain? It was the op main. Cryocells did kind of destroy 48 kills across the series, or 38, excuse me. So, or 48, I was right, 48. So not exactly something that you want to see if you're a 100 Thieves fan coming into this, knowing that the op can potentially be problematic. But on the flip side, 100 Thieves has some power as well. They've got a player in Bang who can absolutely help pull the team up out of the doldrums where they might find themselves if that op becomes an issue.
The word doldrums has really caught on. We're really committed to it now in North America. Yeah, but I think Bang has been having an insane performance, particularly on that roller as a controller. Right, last stage he was playing kind of that flex secondary duelist initiator.
I'm more of a mouse and keyboard kind of guy.
Oh,
Word.
Get it. Can we have Sue back? All right, thank you, thank you. Much better. We'll do a segment like this. Yeah, but this guy's been looking absolutely crazy, and he's up there with the absolute best. Players like Marv, like Supa, like Apoth, those folks that we think of as being at the absolute top of the controller play. For a player who is new to the role, it's been really impressive out of Bang.
It does spell out, too, that 100 Thieves has a team that they don't have to rely on that one strategy. It's not just one direction. They can use the breadth of that squad now to make things happen, and I think they're going to have to bring it today.
Something that's interesting for this 100 Thieves roster, too, is that you have a player in Asuna who went from playing a duelist to now playing a controller, and looking at that, how that's changed the way he approaches the game. You know, the first deaths in the last series were not great. You know, Asuna was getting punished pretty regularly. And if you're not the duelist, that's even more of a problem, because you shouldn't be the person dying first.
I give a lot of hype to 100 Thieves around the role switches that they've made, but I think some of those issues were cropping up in their series against Xset, and I think it was part of the reason that they were struggling. I think in particular in that Ascent matchup, it was the KO pick that was rocking with for Asuna, and I didn't feel like it got as much value as it could have. There was a lot of rounds where he was being put in a position where he was the player taking that initial fight, where he was playing forward. I think the spacing has been a bit of an issue with 100 Thieves, even back into previous iterations. And I think when games get tight, when things get a little bit stressful, it shows through even more. And when you're playing against an op like Cryo, or in this case against FaZe with Dicey, that cannot be happening.
It can't, because you're also, if you think about it, you're out of position. You have those extended spots you're playing and not really able to trade off each other. what's going to happen when that Neon is coming through as well, the different pronged attacks that they can start using from the side of FaZe.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm not necessarily against players on the initiator being proactive. I just think the way that it was set up was too coin flippy, and in such an op-heavy team, both with Xset and with FaZe, he's going to need to slow things down a little bit and rely more on those flashes.
And they need those flashes later in the round to help give them an advantage as well. As we take a look at the map picks and bans, I mean, we can make some assumptions how things are going to go. FaZe is going to ban Bind. 100 Thieves is going to ban Haven. These are maps these teams do not like to play.
Yeah.
So we can expect that right off the rip, and that's exactly what we get.
Yeah, we go through with those two. Initially, 100 Thieves, they have quite a few maps that they can feel comfortable in. This one, they will be actually the first pick on through. Rocking
Not
with the
surprised.
split,
Here comes Fracture.
That's a bit of an interesting one. Are we going for the Fracture? I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
These two
That's a
maps are
repeat of the map
really good
pool.
for Baby Bay. It is that repeat map pool.
I cannot believe it.
I think this is a little interesting that we're going to basically see the map pool. The only thing I had that was different was I thought FaZe was going to ban Icebox, and that's in fact what does happen. So we go to Breeze, which is the final map. I think this plays a little bit better for FaZe than 100 Thieves. I think the final map being Breeze versus Icebox definitely gives them a little bit of a leg up, but we know what to expect in the first two maps. It's what we saw in the first two maps of the last series.
Yeah.
Creatures of habit.
I concur. I think that these last two maps in the pool are going to be really good for Dicey and Baby Bay as a duo. This is where they were fragging previously. Both the Breeze and the Fracture play super well into that flashy fly-up, bridge flash something, run forward off that Neon. It works impeccably for FaZe.
Yeah, I think 100 Thieves is going to have to grab the first one. We've heard the name, or we've heard the word shooting range a lot this weekend where teams are just firefighting it out. So if that's the way this goes, those last two maps could be FaZe.
Well, we're going to go ahead and throw things to a break. When we come back, we'll be jumping into the Agent Select for Map 1. It's going to be a repeat of the last series. We're kicking things off on Split. Stay tuned.
What if I told you you could win a VIP trip to Copenhagen to watch Masters 2 in person? Well, by playing these 3 new AIM Lab tasks, you can earn a chance to win a trip to Masters for you and a friend. The more you play, the more chances you have to win. Train your aim for a trip to Masters. Are you in?
GPS. I got goals, I know where to go, so I never crash. Hey, way too fast. I gotta go, I'm in the zone, foot on the gas. Hey, GPS. I got goals, I know where to go, so I never crash. Yeah, I'm in the end zone. Where did he go? You way too slow, homie, I been gone. I know you see, I got the rings, homie, I been flown. Me and the team going for rings, that is the end goal. Hey, I go beast mode, all on the world like Eco. I go crazy like CeeLo, can't stop me like Chico's. I'm suave like Rico, can't be mine no repo. This my home like Depot, can't deny like Vito. Hey, way too fast. I gotta go, I'm in the zone, foot on the gas. Yeah. GPS. I got goals, I know where to go, so I never crash. Hey, way too fast.
Spike is not here as of yet. The Superman is a little bit trapped. Made not make much of a difference. How does he get both?
That comes through. There's the showstopper now. Is it all FaZe? Asuna.
And welcome back to the analyst desk as we are just about ready to jump into our first match of this rematch. FaZe, 100 Thieves again kicking things off on Split. FaZe desperately hoping to actually get 4 rounds in the second half if they get the same 9 they did the last time.
And it will be a bit of a different start than we saw in the first game. FaZe will be starting on that defense. The way they pressured the attack half of that split map was super strong towards mid, pull utility out 100 Thieves, and then find an easy site to get into as you just neon right through. I want to see if they actually, on a different note, put some Fade into the composition. Toss it up today. I feel like with the introduction of Fade into Valorant, you get this situation where you use util, you might haunt, you might wait, but you seize, you're going forward. You follow that up on what you find, and FaZe is so good at anchoring each other in those pushes. I feel like that would be such a boon for them to throw into the agent composition.
FaZe actually has toyed with the Fade. Week number 1, they were actually the first team in North America to try and implement it. I didn't think it was particularly good. It was still when they were with an old player, but there's been plenty of time to scrim and figure things out. The reason why I don't expect it, though, is because this playoff format is so punishing. It is game. It's not like the groups where you have a week off to sit, to prep, to chill on out. You have to go straight back on in, and I think implementing the Fade would require a pretty much complete shift in the style of FaZe. They're very dedicated to the Neon. I think if you're playing Neon Fade, you're losing so much value value that you can get when you play that Fade Race.
But you're also making the assumption that they haven't already been practicing this in the
Right.
background. There's always the
You never know.
possibility that there is a B plan for the side of FaZe and the side of 100 Thieves. They already played this map.
Yeah.
We could just expect to see the exact same thing, exact same compositions, exact same plans.
It's true.
Or someone could be like, you know what? Let's try and spin things around. Maybe we throw a curveball into the mix. Not to say they're going to pick Phoenix, but maybe there is a curveball thrown into the mix, and we see a slight change.
That
maybe
was
not
shocking.
a major one.
I feel like you just like swore at me or something when I heard the word Phoenix. I was like,
It
"Whew."
it was pretty brutal.
Knock back.
But
Call
I
HR.
do feel like we'll get the regular comps. I'm just huffing over here to see if we'll get something new because I love that in these last moments where a
Sure.
team wouldn't be expecting it. But to see what happened within this last series, I do think FaZe has the upper hand overall. If we're going to a slight prediction mode, how hard they hit, it was their games to lose. I think they might just be on top again here to start, especially if we see pistol rounds.
I
for them.
want to see if there's going to be a team pivoting their compositions. I'd like to see it out of 100 Thieves. They used to
Same.
play the Cypher
Exactly.
on this map. They just at the last moment they
Right.
switched out the Viper for the Cypher heading into the previous match on Split. And I think that the Cypher actually plays really well against FaZe. Obviously, Cypher loses value when you're facing up against a Raze, but traditionally FaZe isn't really playing that, so you can get value out of
Right.
those trips in setting down Baby Bay. And I think also the cam is super good on this map in being able to set up those trap plays.
You need flank prevention.
You do.
Yeah.
You need the
I
ability
mean, how
to
many
control
rounds
the
do we
flanks.
just see Baby Bay just zoom in
Just-
race car mode through
You
spawn?
could watch the minimap and be like, oh, it's a hit towards mid and B, and like Baby Bay's playing A defense and he's just running through A main. There were rounds when we're just watching Baby Bay's X-ray as he like guns it down sewers,
Yeah.
trying to find the last player. He's that bloodthirsty. So it's certainly concerning when you don't have the ability to control the extremities. You need some way to do that, and I agree. I think 100 Thieves needs to find a better way to try and stop that from being a problem, kind of like stem the bleeding early.
Sure.
I want to believe that they're going to do it potentially, but I also feel like this team is so rigid that I don't expect it.
I don't know. I think the change might come through. I think the KO does make me doubtful when you're playing against that KO. One knife, one fragment on through, all your utility can be shut on down.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if if they will make the change, but it's certainly a possibility. 100 Thieves has been known to switch up their compositions quite frequently.
From the attack side, it might provide a little bit more to start because on defense, you're not really worried about a change in composition too much. You know how to approach it. But yeah, I think
Sure.
actually if 100 Thieves change their attack side, maybe bring that Cypher back, what we've seen since the overall change for the team, organization, players, whatnot, they have been very smart about map movement.
Yeah.
How to figure out where to get around the map, the extremities control, whether they just want to go forward or have Cypher play. And the way that they've been able to implement that into their strategies to pull games back, to understand the econ, it's been incredible just all together in the way that they approach the game now for 100 Thieves.
For sure, and I think for 100 Thieves, they're also putting a lot of value towards this double controller play and the Astra. I think in this economy, it's not very good to be able to run Astra as that single controller. So if they
Yeah.
made the change back to Cypher, then you lose your Viper, then it's not optimal to run the Astra. So there's a lot of those like run-on effects, which
Yeah.
again, when it's this tight playoff format, are tough to make.
And then the other question you have to ask yourself is, even with the information gleaned from the previous match, is it going to be enough for 100 Thieves to try to stop FaZe? Because again, it's not a secret. Everyone knows what FaZe is going to do. They're going to enable Baby Bay
Yep.
to zoom around the map.
Yeah.
He's like my cats at midnight. He's just got the zoomies, hardcore zoomies. We'll be jumping into the agent select, though, to see if we're going to see any changes coming in from 100 Thieves as the lock-in begins. I mean, we talk about what we should expect, Mimi. Do you see anything changing here?
No,
Are we going
they go
to go
the
back?
Astra. That should mean that they're going to stick by this Cypher choice. At least that's what I would imagine, unless they want to make another change up on through or excuse me, stick with not the Cypher. I
Right,
misspoke
right.
there a little bit, yeah. But Asna again coming in towards this Fade. I think it's a pick that's had a little bit of wind-up time. It was maybe a little bit rough for them initially. They've had a little bit more time to practice with it. This comp again is just built around let Will thrive with that paint shells. Every single other character on this team has an ability that can combine with the paint shells and find value.
It's 100 Thieves definitely putting a comp together that they need to execute together, right? Everybody needs to be here as you go in on these fights, like you said, promoting what Will can do. I actually like the fight we're getting from both teams here. It's going to get explosive, no pun intended. But yeah, if defense for FaZe is their attack again, they could be tough for 100 Thieves, but 100 Thieves need to set the pace here.
It's going to be the zoomies versus the boomies. The boomies being the nades. We've got to see if 100 Thieves can potentially find a way to take victory here on Split without having it be a comeback. We've got our casters standing by. It's Doug, Bala, take it away.
Thank you so much, Bach. A rematch, a big one, everything on the line here. Bala, you and I have talked a number of times in our cast together about how difficult it is to beat a team 2 times in a row, given 100 Thieves, their preparation style, do you think that's a strength they have here?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's a new team, and this playoffs is the first real challenge that they have. So going up against a team that they just beat is not something that, you know, they've experienced so far together. And FaZe also, I mean, young players as well on this team outside of the experienced core that they've brought in. It's going to be super interesting, I think, to see exactly how they match up, because we kind of have exactly the same two maps that we started off. And with how those went, I think you could clearly tell that both teams super comfortable going back into it. And we'll see what adjustments they've actually made.
To continue, we're going to refer back to their previous match a lot for very obvious reasons, but we're even talking about same sides to start things off.
Baby Bay's got a trap play there set up off of Dicey's contact as well, so Bang cannot overextend here. I don't think he will. I think he's going to try to backside. We've seen this before from Bang, but no, they're going to challenge him instead, and he'll lose the fight. And with that information, they should know that this hit's about to come on this side.
Frenzy's just too good. The double satchel out from Will as he tries to get to backside, and Poise is able to win that duel out. Numbers from 100 Thieves have already started to fall apart. Just 2 remain on the attacking half, and they've sort of gotten onto the site, kind of, not really. And Derek's in a brutal spot here. He's got an aftershock. He's got bullets all over the place. The Prime Gaming Flawless to kick things off for FaZe.
He's got 3 players jumping on top of him at the same time. Yeah, that was very, very nicely played from FaZe, and the plan from 100 Thieves did not work out at all, but also you kind of see similar things that we've seen from them before, which to me is a scary prospect, given we just talked about how preparation, how changing things is going to be important. But we've seen Bang go on these long, long lurks late when there's an A-hit being prepped.
Let's go.
And Baby Bay takes huge advantage of that with Derek's with Fly's flash.
See that aftershock early on as they continue to fight for garage control. Again, pretty evident here that FaZe are going to try to dictate the pace of this match. See the flash, the exact same swing, and again, FaZe walk away with the advantage.
Other fights happening right now. Stellar loses his life for it. And these flashes are getting such value so far from Flya. The new addition to the team. And they swapped him back in to the roster after week 2. And ever since his first debut, they have not, or they didn't lose a match going into group stage. Now in the lower bracket, it honestly does feel like they still should not have lost a match, given how close the series was in that first match against 100 Thieves.
Yeah, the come up has been insane.
They were up 9-3 in every single map.
And this being one of the ones that got away from them. Again, last time of the dance here was 13-10, and again, you see the pace, man. They just like to go fast. That's the thing with FaZe is you're going to get a lot of that. They're going to come at you. They're going to throw it at your face as much as you can, and you have to figure out how you're going to weather that and counter-punch back. They struggled last time they played on Split. Ultimately, they were able to pull it off, but again, Ball, as you were saying, it wasn't without a 9-3 deficit.
And I love the fact that that's a set play that a lot of teams have been going for with the Neon, but they have dropped it out of their repertoire, dropped it out of the strat book almost entirely because it doesn't work as well when you don't have a player like Baby Bay leading the charge in that regard.
Flick up from Will is not going to land, but Asana's will.
Love the support there from Fly again, just spamming through the smoke, baiting into Superman, who's up on top of a really wide off angle. And another off angle here from Dicey. Won't find anything from it, though.
Oh, it just goes a bit wide, and he has to teleport back. So B, they have a little bit of room to work with here. The thing is, cleared out Flya. No, they hadn't. You see the ult come through for Baby Bay. FaZe starting off quite hot, Baller.
Yes, they are. 3-0, they convert the bonus. And if things continue the way they are, actually, that's a great start to get them close to that scoreline that we saw so many times already. They can continue to capitalize on an early lead here. 100 Thieves is going to have to dig deep to find that same performance that they had last time. And I think a lot of it was levied by individual performances, a lot of clutches in that series to bring them back, a lot of situations where they're down a man because of the aggression from FaZe. And also economically playing the game against FaZe. Denying the op from Dicey on those second halves was huge.
Nice draw out from Util. You saw the flash at the beginning of the round from Mail, and then the aftershock there, so you're understanding you're able to draw some of that out as you fight for mid control. A little bit of fake, and now they can push in a bit more comfortably, but you see the utility continue to get dubbed, the fragment and everything.
Yeah, this is interesting because they're actually using Baby Bay elsewhere on the map away from the utility, so that's why it's more delay this time, but also a feint that Baby Bay could be swinging at any time with that utility. Got you.
This time it's actually Fly who swings off of that utility, his own really, but he's able to take care of Will off of that. No light buy for 100 Thieves, it's just pistols. Stellar's already fallen. Fly should get a shot at a second. And he does. Nice go traded back with the spikes down. But Baby Bay has a number of times gone to Twitter to brag about the fact that he is self-proclaimed the best Neon in North America. Now, the first couple times I saw that, I went, hey, that's pretty clever. There aren't a whole lot of other Neon players, though, right? But the dude does it, right? Like, there's really nobody else who plays with this pace. The only other real Neon player is Victor, and Victor doesn't do it like this.
Yeah. Well, I also think that FaZe is the only team to really commit to this Neon on almost every map.
Everything. Yep.
And I think it's important to note that they don't have as much time with this roster compared to a Victor, where they can work on a lot of different comps. So going into that, and obviously Baby Bay's style works really well with it. Another shot from Dicey. Already getting it out on the 4th round here in the gun round for 100 Thieves. And they're going to need to find some way to neutralize Dicey. Because, like we saw in the series yesterday against XSET, and what Riv alluded to on the desk, Derek said it. He said that Cryo was having a day. He just was in a shooting range. And Dicey might be put in that same situation, but they're making the wrong gamble here. Look at FaZe. They're all on this A side, completely giving up this site. But Baby Bay is actually going to be able to push this flank super fast.
Stellar gets the spike down. I believe maybe only the second time 100 Thieves have gotten this far. And this kill onto Baby Bay is going to be massive. This duel swings out as really bolts drop, and Will's able to get the kill. Gets back to safety. You see the null command come through as they spam into the smokes up in heaven, trying to keep back the advances of FaZe as 100 Thieves fight to get the first round they can.
No real utility here from FaZe to clear spots out, except for that, the aftershock.
They still have garage control. Superman on the tap. You start to see some of the utility come out. He's able to get it to half and then pull off.
It's not planted for them whatsoever.
Oh, they're not. They're going to have to push forward. It's still not there yet. There it is. There's the push, and it's all going to come down to one. And they get the kills that they need, but boy, that was a lot closer than it should have been.
Oh my goodness. Both players died too. Yeah. And with the bank that FaZe built up, that hurts. Super surprised to see them rely on Will there to double satchel and kind of run and gun. This moment too, I mean, he's literally in between 4 different stunts. Something out of a movie right there, dodging everything in his way. Yeah, this right here, right? FaZe not sticking there after the aftershock is, they didn't have that many members up at that point because Dicey got picked off when he was watching Heaven.
Paul, you mentioned 2 players dropping at the end of the round there, and the financial implications because of that, even though they won the round, Bang and Derek have to bring in Spectres. Yeah, they have full armor, but Stellar only has light.
Ever since that anti-eco that they had in round 4 from FaZe, they won that, but ever since then, it's been a lot more passive. And I think that's because they're preparing to get Dicey the op, prepare him to take angles where they don't need to be as aggressive. But there's another peek with a deep fault line from Flya. Meanwhile, 100 Thieves just explores mid. They're coming right back over to this zone. Super interesting, too, because they just cleared for so much time the front of that Viper wall where Stellar is threatening to lurk. And as they clear it is when 100 Thieves enters that space. So there might be a timing here.
You see the utility go back up, and now they regress on the space that you were just alluding to. See the Nightfall come out as an H, try to keep them back. A bit of delay with the utility. Baby Bay's been spotted. The fast lane to provide some cover as he tries to reposition. Take some space up in heaven, but a Prowler and a couple of shots to the side of the head take care of him. Will with the Showstopper looking to find some space. Any target he can possibly find, and no, he gets dropped without firing at all. His poise from the discipline corner causes problems for 100 Thieves. And they bring it back, though. Flya finds himself in a brutal spot, a 1v3, 58 HP, and he's not going to pull it off. 100 Thieves get the second.
And I love what they did there with the Nightfall. A lot of teams, a lot of people still rely on that tool as if it was a breach ult, right? Yep. Where they're executing immediately as it's hitting players to try to get some value out of the decay, try to, use the sound as something.
The silence, yeah.
But in this case, 100 Thieves actually waits so that they could process the information that it's giving them, right? And yeah, sure, the Showstopper goes over top of the discipline box because the Nightfall didn't hit him, but it does catch Baby Bay, who was trying to re-peek up a Heaven.
Yep.
And that is crucial. Because up to that point, they haven't succeeded at getting these first kills. FaZe looking to try to find another one with his mid-aggression. They're going to back off, though. And look, Stellar's swapped his wall over towards this side, the B side. And Dicey's trying to play in front of it. No op for him this time, but they've got a breach ult to retake as well or dominate this position.
Just on the other side, the flash is a cue for him to swing. He's not able to find any value, has to give it back. The Cosmic Divide provides some cover. And now the Rolling Thunder in exchange. Surely they're going to swing off of that because it's FaZe, and that's exactly what they do. They get 4 kills. They stop everything coming out of Garage, and they get the 5th round.
Perfect hold from FaZe. As that Astral Divide came out from Bang, they were just sliding right through with the breach ult, with the stuns. Even the trademark went out in that position.
Yeah.
When that much utility succeeds, there is not much you can do, especially on a map like Split where the chokes are tight.
FaZe seem to play on this hairline trigger, man. Like when they decide to go, they're going to go, and they're going to go with everything they have. And that's obviously, that can be a double-edged sword, right? Because you're playing in a position where you can easily get punished off of over-aggression. I think about Baby Bay dying in A Heaven a couple of rounds ago. You see how some of the positioning can be problematic. But even with that FaZe holding on to a 3-round lead, Baby Bay spotted Asuna, who's trying to creep his way up. Middle of the map, he's not able to do it. Just Sheriffs, and then the Stinger in the hands of Will. Well, it was in the hands of Will.
It's just so fun to watch, man.
They just style on him.
That is the perfect way to describe what just happened. And also, I think the interesting part of this entire round just then, I mean, it's only pistols, but Baby was literally in the center point of that grab well, and he just runs out. Like, it's so ridiculous, the strengths that we're finally seeing out of a Neon. And you talked about, how he's trying to claim the title of the best Neon in NA. Stuff like that, very, very important. But also just, Mimi was saying it on the desk, this economy she was saying about Astra just not being very good with all the nerfs. Specifically, I think that is important when it's against a Neon, when stuff like that can happen, and when there's so much response in terms of utility on the other side of comps.
The interesting thing is, as much as we've talked about this FaZe team and their glow up from week 2, I think it's been very well documented that their defensive half, for whatever reason, seems to be notably more successful. Mm-hmm. And that's funny because you would think, given their pace and their aggression and how they like to play on this, in this danger zone, in a sense, you would expect some of that to translate to the attacking half, but it hasn't been the case.
And I think part of that is just because this map is, like I said earlier, the chokes are so tight. And so when you try to go fast, it's very easy to shut that down, especially in this day with this comp that 100 Thieves is throwing out, for example. Look how much delay there is. Look how much stuff there is that'll actually straight up kill you if you get caught in chokes without baiting out utility. So that style doesn't necessarily translate as well on attack on this map. At least that's my theory.
We'll see, Dicey has that operator. You've mentioned a couple of times. We've seen this play a few times as well, and while it doesn't often net a little bit of something, you had some info gathered, and because of that, 100 Thieves have to invest some utility if they want to regain mid control.
Poison's off.
We do have this Viper's Pit that Stellar's been sitting on for quite a while. but they really haven't had success getting onto the sites. FaZe is so concerned with trying to stop that from happening in the first place. There we go. Swing through. The flash is great.
Very well done. Will just dashed right by Dicey's ear. He never really had a shot at him. He never saw him coming.
That was disgusting. And it did exactly what 100 Thieves did to them a couple rounds ago on B side, right? The utility's so strong. And there's the pit to secure the round. They've got pinpoints on all sides as well. Bang on the flank. Trademarks down. Also, Asuna as well in A main. The reflank ramp when it happens. This round's all but locked up.
But it would be FaZe-like for them to go for it, wouldn't it? Given the money, given the fact that Baby Bay has his ult. Flash, but Asuna waiting for it's able to spam through and get the kill. Understanding no one else is coming his way, but just to be sure, drops a little bit of insurance utility. But yeah, this round, for all intents and purposes, seems locked up. Perhaps a play for exit. That's exactly what they're going to do. As Flya gets to Superman. Oh, he's going to go hunting. But he falls. As Asuna gets a third on the round, 100 Thieves get theirs too.
Had a moment there where he comboed the stun and the grab well to try to trap them closer and take the fight. But hey, look, 100 Thieves gets a 3. We're, rounding down this half. One more round and they'll be performing better on what was a 13-11 win on this map. And unfortunately, Dicey, who got flashed in that round, hasn't really been finding value, except for the one pick he did find in mid, and this TP lets him explore so deep. He's exposed to the market angle, though, but he doesn't care. Wow, all the way.
The rendezvous to get him to safety. We've talked so much this map about Baby Bay and the pace with which he plays, and well, it's been on full display. But the other side of the coin that we haven't talked about is Dicey, right? So you figure out, okay, Baby Bay's just going to run at us. He's going to throw everything he can at us. If we can figure it out, maybe we'll be okay. No, there you have the other half of the Bash Bros, right? And then Dicey enters the equation, and he's impenetrable.
Exchanged. But always look at Stellar. You can call audibles from that position so often if he gets any space up.
They're not biting. Yeah. Is Viper util that they had on A being toggled up and down? I don't think it was enough for FaZe to believe that that's what the hit was going to be.
Still trying to pivot. 30 seconds. It's starting to wind down.
30 seconds.
Stellar's up. Yeah, it looks like they do want to pivot. Dicey's here, though.
Look at Asuna pushing into stairs, too. He's going to try to get the timing, and he is going to get it onto Superman. And now off of that, they're going to bring the spike back. The Nightfall to push him back on B, as Baby Bay has no shot at it. Fly on the last man standing, and he's going to have to pull up an insane hold to try to keep the spike from going down. Still playing from behind the pillar. 8 seconds left as the spike still not planted. There it goes. And he swings out. He's not able to land the shots as Asuna gets 3 on the round. The numbers advantage still favor of 100 Thieves. As I don't know that Dicey can find his way in. And then to add insult to injury, Stellar is on the flank in case things get out of hand. Dicey is going to have to win that one himself, and he's not going to do it. Asuna with the ace as 100 Thieves get to 4.
Great round. Exactly the strengths of 100 Thieves right there, and they do break 3 rounds on their attacking side. That is, I mean, I almost used the word vintage, but nothing from 100 Thieves is vintage so far. This is what made them good on this map throughout the open qualifiers and into the groups, was the way that Stellar is able to call these audibles late in the round. They did everything right there. Baited out the Rolling Thunder, walked up a couple times into B Heaven, fainted back towards A with any space that Stellar has gotten, and then they also had Asuna push downstairs, found a gap.
Asuna was nuts in that round. One kill, I believe he was fully flashed, and on another kill, he was fully stunned.
Just
that too is silly.
Oh.
Stellar just gets dropped instantly. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Derek has to wait just a tad longer to get that Rolling Thunder online. The No Command, though, should delay it if they wanted that to be their entry in. It's not going to happen. It's Baby Bay with the spam. FaZe keeps them back. A flawless round comes out of Prime Gaming. Flawless one at that. And there wasn't much behind FaZe's guns there.
No.
They didn't have very much in the buy at all.
Yeah, no, they absolutely didn't. I think Baby Bay bought a Vandal there because he has the overdrive if he does want to go into this last round without a weapon. But still, I mean, unbelievable. That side dash right there from Baby Bay is new tech. He's coming out of that smoke, sliding to the left, looking straight at, getting ready for his crosshair. Previously, you had to pull off some crazy shenanigans to pull off a dash like that, but with the Neon changes, you could do that relatively easily.
You know, I know I touched on it in the round 2, but again, to draw attention to the importance of that null command, Derek wasn't able to bring that Rolling Thunder into the last hit. Now he has it in this round. That's great. But you look at the economy, you've got a Frenzy and you've got 2 Spectres. Not the same oomph behind the punch.
I think 100 Thieves is at this point in the half. Last round, they've decided let's stop with these full-on B executes. They're going to go for a Breach Ult, Osmic Divide, fake on this B side, and it's pulling everybody. Superman has a world of hurt. They're actually not biting, though, because Dicey's in such a great position.
And the thing is, like, the one person who started to rotate over was Baby Bay, and he's got the zoom. He's able to rotate back. Poised with the spam on 2 through the smoke. His 100 Thieves are only down to 3.
That is some amazing reads from Poise. 2 bullets on each side as they're walking across, spread out. That is so lucky, but at the same time, so sick. And the Cosmic Divide is going to wrap this up. They have to go through this wall up in heaven. Actually, Will might try to use this to go to the ropes, but he's already passed.
Gun gave him away. Remember, Baby Bay still has his ult. Now you see that come online.
Spamming through the smoke.
How did they get through this? Baby Bay swings around. It's all onto Derek, and he falls to a Prime Gaming Flawless to close out the half. It was a little bit better than last time, but FaZe still in the driver's seat. We'll be right back. Hundred Thieves found a way to weather the aggression that FaZe were throwing their way. Now, FaZe on the attacking half. See if 100 Thieves can continue to do some of the same. I'm Doug, with me is Balla, and Balla, this is where things turned the last time these two teams danced on this stage.
Yes, yes it is. And it turned basically 100 Thieves improved on the performance of FaZe. Right, they ended up going 10-2 on this half, essentially. That gets lost when you look just at the scoreline, but Things that are really good for FaZe on their attacking sides. A lot of times it's Dicey who's lurking on extremities while the rest of the team is really pressuring so he can catch, rotate. So far in this pistol round, it's a little bit what they're doing. Baby Bay's with him. And he could catch all the way up here. Stellar's alone. A theme for 100 Thieves. All the way back to when he was playing Cypher.
Toxin screen down.
Stellar spotted a little something as the bullet goes a bit wide. Interesting Baby Bay's choice here to use a ghost instead of the frenzy like we saw him on defense in the previous round. Oh, but maybe that's why FaZe able to find 2 big ones as the pinch was just devastating. They were trapped.
That's a mistake. They've lost control of ropes from the other side. They should know that re-clearing at that point, you're going to be crossfired into it. But either way, 100 Thieves does spread wide. Bang is here with a frenzy, and we saw earlier in the series
30 seconds left.
what the frenzy could do, but Poise just swings him.
I knew. Check him right off the bat. Guy didn't even have a chance to fire a bullet. Numbers heavily in favor of FaZe here as Stellar and Derek are left to try to figure this one out on their own.
And this is super important. If FaZe is able to convert a pistol in this situation right here where they're already up 8-4,
Last player standing.
way different, and it's looking like it. Stellar in a 1v5. For context, in the last series, 100 Thieves won 4 out of the 2 pistols. And every time they lost 9-3, they were able to clap back with at least one of the pistol round wins. And that was huge in levying their comebacks.
Prime Gaming Flawless comes through again as FaZe are able to win the pistol in the opener. You were talking, Ball, about how different it is from their previous matchup. 100 Thieves have won 5 rounds in a row to open the second half. Already a night and day difference.
Last player standing.
The eco advantage now. They could potentially get to 10. And always in these situations, I do look at the ults. It's a talking point that I always do where, you know, there's round-winning ults. But I don't necessarily see that sort of combination on this attack side. Obviously, they have some power ones. They get close where they only need 1 or 2 rounds. So much on the other side to respond as well. Grouped up to try to approach here into Will's Shorty. And he's tucked to dodge flashes. We saw what Poise did last time, just dry swamp.
Uh-oh. Eric has to be careful, and Will tried getting the timing, and it just didn't work out. Now you see the spams come through as Derek's able to get 2. Well done on him to do that with a classic, but it's just not going to be enough. Stellar's left here with a classic. Both Poise and Fly are very weak. They have a considerable gun advantage here.
And there's nothing even for Stellar to pick up.
Yeah.
Plus, it just cleared spawn, so they know he's coming from heaven, at least for the next 3 seconds. So you saw they just triple swung.
Yep.
Surprised Fly didn't tuck back into B-main with his HP situation.
He's the only healthy one. He's going to be the first one to swing. He lands the dink. But the Phantom's just too good. They're a 10-4 lead for FaZe. Now 100 Thieves can punch back.
2 big moments there, I think, from Poise where, you know, he was... The team was walking into something that could have been devastating. Their Will with the shorty, right? And the last round, it was, I forget who, Bang, I think, with a frenzy, right? Tucked in that discipline box in B-main.
Mm-hmm.
And Poised has the discipline. And also the flick. That was a nasty flick onto Will.
Yep.
And he purchased the Phantom. So let's see. Fast here to take a ramp. Looks like a fault line. I have to clear close, and Baby Bay's already up.
The gravity well intended to delay.
Bring them down.
It just doesn't find very much. Now the Prowler try to re-clear. I don't know if that saw Baby Bay there. It looked like it did.
Well, they already know he's there because of the haunt. Either way. There's some mid-aggression happening from 100 Thieves. There, the Prowler will find the mark. And Poised helps him to get out. Sure, Baby Bay's got the high gear running, so he's fast with it, but trade damage. We do have to look at the null command as well from Poise. Where is he going to position himself if he decides to use it? It's Dicey who gets the Phantom.
Spike down.
Bloody
mid.
firing range across the middle of the map as Derek's able to find 2. Will with the 3rd.
And the spike is dropped.
They're not really sitting on it, right? I mean, it's just Will who's the only one kind of within sniffing distance.
You've got to
30
spend so
seconds
much
left.
time clearing and taking these angles.
Yeah.
Now, with 25 seconds left when they recover it, they're going to go back into Will.
72 HP, no armor.
Asana's here as well, this duo.
You don't spot
One enemy remaining.
And off of that, they can swing. Will, clean shots. That 1-2 punch that you mentioned comes through. 100 Thieves to 5.
They got a response from the Bash Bros themselves. Two youngins. Actually, Will's. I keep calling him a kid, but he's 22 or something
One
like that.
enemy remaining.
That just means you're old, man.
Yeah, it does.
There.
Not converting on the bonus this time. They did do that successfully in the
Stay
first half.
focused.
100 Thieves
See-
needed that.
See this Viper wall out from Stellar. Very deep across mid. With nothing really behind it.
Yeah, but you can see FaZe hesitant to walk through. Later on, they might decide to start walking past this, depending on what 100 Thieves is actually throwing in behind it. But trying to have coverage so they can't get into that mail angle. Important, something that we picked up from Reykjavik, the Zeta Division run. They'll use so much utility to keep them back. Or at least know whether there's anything exchanged. Talking about the two, star duos, I guess you could say, on either side. So far, Asuna and Will in first kills are only 1 and 6 compared to Dicey and Baby Bay, who are 9 and 2. Obviously, that speaks to the lead, but speaks to how FaZe is still in the driving seat.
See how far off 100 Thieves were playing, perhaps expecting that no command, and there it is. It pops the new FaZe are going to get full control of A, entirely uncontested. As now the reinforcements start to show up. You see the triple stack coming in from defender spawn.
Interesting plant. It's planted for heaven. 4 players off site right now. Only Baby Bay left inside of it. And this breach roll
Dicey.
catches nothing.
Yeah, but so Asuna's up top and Dicey's behind them all, but the bullets go wide. Asuna turns around, snaps on, and Baby Bay's not able to find value either. As Will's on the defuse, he's going to get it to half, and then he's going to pull off. Numbers still in favor of 100 Thieves as Poise gets flashed up, has no chance at it, but Will gets the defuse as Derek gets 3, 100 Thieves get to 6.
And it's looking scary. That was an investment of ults from FaZe. And 100 Thieves respond with their own, and it doesn't catch that much value, but they played it so well. But this shot specifically, we just talked about how Dicey has been playing relatively good this series so far. And that happens. Derek to keep them off of that heaven plant as well. I like the idea from FaZe. But also, maybe, as well, Dicey striking a little too early. Yes, he got the backstab off, but he could have gotten some severe value later on.
Just unlucky timing, man.
Oh, I mean,
Asuna taking a step
would.
forward.
Let's he certainly would. Let's not sugarcoat.
A whole lot of folks on the other side of that smoke. The pop flash was there, but Will's still able to take one down with them. Oh, great counter from Bang. As you see, Baby Bay was trying to take control of stairs. FaZe down here in tatters. A Sheriff and a Classic. That may be a problem. I see with the Phantom upgrade.
Spike down.
He's the last
B.
one alive during this one before.
Not gonna find
Yeah,
much.
it's just not gonna happen.
And that was eco attempt. They just tried to bully their way up past that wall, like I talked about. That Stellar has been putting the last couple of times. Great hold. Even though they netted a kill up in Mill. Asuna will get there in time. And FaZe will call a timeout. Pump the brakes. Try to figure out a different approach. Try to figure out when things are going to work out for them. I do like what they did on Pistol Round, and I think they should be trying to abuse the way that Stellar's been playing. You mentioned the fact that he was playing back during that KO round, but that's actually something that Stellar is consistently doing. They're always playing retake on it, essentially. Very, very rarely will you see somebody playing there with him, and if, in cases that it does happen, it's playing in the back of sight. paired with Will or Asuna or something like that to be able to play off of him. But it doesn't happen often. You know why? Because of how good their retakes are. You just saw the example of that. But for FaZe, let's talk about that, right? Let's start to explore the idea of continuing to pressure him, continuing to force him to play even farther back, and then being able to do what we did on Pistol Round, which is pinch from ropes, which is find rotation kills on all sort of other sides of the map. Be included in that. The crazy part to me about this game so far is that 100 Thieves on that attack side that we just saw, they did a lot of great things that FaZe needs to implement. Like the amount of utility they were baiting out. You saw how Baby B got punished in heaven there with the grab well.
Yeah.
Gotta get it out their hands.
Just on the other side. The kills both go FaZe's way.
Great read. JDM and the rest of FaZe. Stella left in a world of hurt. He's on the site alone again, and Dicey's going to be able to take him out.
You highlighted it, man. You were talking about it right before the round starts. Stellar was left on an island, not able to hold off by himself. And off of that, yeah, they had the couple of kills across the middle of the map, which certainly helped things. FaZe is able to get into A, get the spike down, find their post-plant positions. Superman's even left behind to cut off any rotations. If anyone tries to get through late, 100 Thieves have no way into this one.
Has so much space as well to chase down these guns. Superman. He's going to find Asuna easily. Out.
Enemy remaining.
That wasn't that easy. But this round was just such a good read from FaZe. And yeah, Stellar was left on his own there. But you're obviously expecting that after you get the 2 kills. You know the players that you just killed. That's so huge from them. 100 Thieves going walkabouts and getting crushed because of it. I did say the difference maker in the series last time they played was on the second half. 100 Thieves really started connecting with a lot of the clutch rounds, with a lot of the 1v1s. And that is something that was super strong for them throughout the group stages. They were actually the most clutch team in group stages, led by people like Bang. Actually, all of the 3 guys, Asuna, Will, Bang, the youngest on the team, have such amazing 1v1 win rates. But we're not seeing any of that. FaZe is not giving them an inch on that first half. This second half, obviously, there's only been 3 rounds. But again, it's never those situations. It's a lot of 2 versus 1, 3v1s, those type of rounds.
Even you talk about 1v1s, you see it. I often hate to just talk about kills, but look at the scoreboard.
Yeah.
100 Thieves are getting out fragged in a pretty considerable way. You can't get to 1v1s. You can't set up your 50-50 players in a situation like that if you're not getting kills to get them there in the first place.
Well, let's wait till 100 Thieves is up 13-11. No, but you're right. That is a good point, because in the series against the original series, FaZe went plus 28 over the series. They did win that map on Fracture a little bit more convincingly than 100 Thieves, but it was super close. And FaZe was fragging out more so than 100 Thieves. It was tight rounds that pushed them over the edge. This is fast here from FaZe. And again, the read is so good. Stellar has rotated over here, and they're playing more B retake than A retake in this sense.
Similar wall, slightly different angle. It leaves a little cubby to be tucked into B heaven. That's not where the hit's coming from. The Showstopper's able to take care of Poise. Oh, but the gravity well of the Rolling Thunder, it's all jumped down as Baby Bay swings around and Will punishes him. How much more can they find? And now the Nightfall swings out. Dicey's able to get 2 as he tries to stay alive backside. 3v2 in favor of 100 Thieves. The spike still not planted. As we try to catch our breaths for just a moment.
Still some tools at their disposal.
Prowler as gunfire erupts yet again. Dicey still not able to find enough of a comfortable spot to plant. Haunt cleared instantly, but they understand that Asuna's just on the other side.
Fault line
that
from
wall.
Derek. That's back up. But instead, they use theirs to take some more space. He's going with the spike here. This is do or die here for Dicey on this round.
Left.
And Asuna's not even giving him the time of day. He's not taking the fight at all.
At least they get the spike down, though, with the aftershock.
Last player standing.
Oh, Dicey's And it's Bang who cleans him up at the end. I thought it was going to be Asuna in poetic fashion, but he is the one who gets the defuse. I lost count of how many ultimates were thrown in that round. There were a lot.
You can count on your fingers. I won't make fun of you. A good idea from FaZe, in my opinion. The read was great, but the counter from Will even better. He gets suppressed moments after his showstopper is fired off. So you saw how instantly he was throwing that out, hoping to catch a kill, and he does. But then the stun kill onto Baby Bay, who's slide dashing at him, is unbelievable.
All set up. Who will I spot first? Here. You want to play? Let's play.
Sword of Force comes online. You see the utility dump to try to get a ramp control. To be countered by the Prowler. Dicey has to throw it in reverse.
Ooh. That's actually forced him to immediately TP out, so they're pivoting fast here from FaZe, knowing that they are playing for the setup.
Spotted ahead.
Oh, that nade missed.
Oh, I think it was just like a gift dropped in case Baby Bay pushed forward. Either way, it delays the aggression for just a tad longer.
Right there.
As there's silence across the side at this point. You still see the death ball on your minimap. That is FaZe as they try to turn their aggression towards B. Eric and Will trying to keep him back. Baby Bay pushing his way forward, and Will's thankful there to greet him. The satchel to try to push him off. Any other addition. Nothing else comes.
I mean, Baby Bay just pushed like a rhino.
Oh, stellar. Dancing around the Aftershock, still is able to take care of Poise before falling.
Seconds left.
Eric's not able to find the same success, though. 3v3 here. They have sight control.
And the op
Ultimate's on the side of 100 Thieves here.
They've got the Cosmic Divide and
You are
this
divided.
Tour de Force. They're going to use it. And that Nullify is actually Dicey's op. He's not going to be able to find himself a kill until they're on the site, and they haven't planted for him in B main.
Very similar to what we saw a couple of rounds ago in the first half. They're going to have to swing out through the wall, and that's where the op comes into play if he's able to land the shots, but he's not! Will with 2 massive kills on the other side of that, and Asuna cleans things up at the end.
And here we go. Situations just like this are what brought 100 Thieves back in the game. Asuna ends up winning the 1v1. I mean, I don't even really know what you call that, but yeah. Ended up being a 1v1 as he takes out Dicey as the last player. Dicey had a lineup on everybody there.
And you wonder, Bala, I would love to see it again if the Cosmic Divide had been a bit further up, but then they can't get to the defuse. Yeah, there was just enough room for 100 Thieves to swing out and then take the fight.
They're trying to play that crossfire, and I like the idea. I was worried about a smoke from Bang, for example, but no, I don't fault them for that at all.
Don't get in my way.
This is the Viper's Pit. The Death Ball again, man. I like that turn because it's exactly what's happening. They have 2 ults here. Baby Bay's going to use the overdrive. He's been so successful, the best I've seen.
Yeah, he really finds value on that, unlike anyone else. Look at that. I mean, what do you do? And on the side of 100 Thieves, it's just the gravity well to try to delay any sort of advances. Bang with the reposition, a couple of shots to the back of the head. The Rolling Thunder to try to counter and keep him back too. It's a pistol in the hands of Superman. Spike just out of reach. Eric understands. Austin is waiting up top like a watchman. Fly is left alone in this 1v3. Again, Spike
Sweet dreams,
unattainable.
asshole.
Asuna with 3 as 100 Thieves get to 10.
And I do feel like FaZe is starting to run out of ideas. It's the Death Ball every round. This was obviously a very, basically a half-life from FaZe cobbled together. But the hype is rolling on the side of 100 Thieves. And so are the rounds.
We've talked a lot about FaZe's struggles on attack. You're seeing them here again as 100 Thieves have, in that situation, made a map of this thing. It was an 8-4 half. And you're right, Ball. It certainly feels like FaZe are kind of running out of ideas here. How deep is their playbook when your paces go all the time?
The problem in that round, they did not commit the no command, so there was so much utility when Baby Bay put out his wall. So now, can they actually find value out of his no command? I don't really see much out of 100 Thieves in counter to that. Not that they have anything particular to be able to do. We've seen Stellar, for example, play back. Okay, here's a different look. A feint from Baby Bay with the wall this time. The stun's coming out. Usually the utility does come out past that, but the Prowler to cancel didn't find any information. So if Baby Bay works out.
Note that Bang only has, actually he doesn't have any smokes anymore. The last one was used to try to delay. It's still a big kill onto Baby Bay on the other side of the map, but the spike, the site, it's all taken.
They're going for that same plant this time. Let's see if they can get any value out of re-pushing a heaven and playing for this post plant.
No cheeky flank to worry about as they take care of the common culprit in that situation. This fight for heaven is going to be insane. You see some of the utilities start to dump through and the kill follows. Spike's still ticking away, and there's not a whole lot of time left. You see that Cosmic Divide come through as 100 Thieves are able to get a couple. They have the numbers advantage, but boys, he's able to get two big ones. A 1v1.
Can he stick this with the wall?
He can't, he doesn't hear it. He's got to check it. Dicey's got to go. Gets it to have.
Gamble.
6 bullets.
He saw him with the jiggle.
Not a lot of time. Oh.
And Asuna
He's just going to wait out the wall. He's just going to wait at the wall. Yeah, it was a 50-50, and Dicey's able to get it at the end. Map point FaZe.
The former duo on 100 Thieves and Dicey with the mind games through the wall. So fantastically played. And they do what they could not in the first series. Make it to match point. On the pick of 100 Thieves. And what a clutch to do it. I thought for sure that heaven fight was not going their way, but all it takes is one person at the end of it. And that's enough to clutch in a situation like that.
100 Thieves in a position here. What's on their map pick. Baby Bay has, by himself, made his way onto A. Now the rest of the team starts to rally in behind him. Okay. Fall. Spike doesn't get committed as well. Goes aggressive with the showstopper, and he's going to get a shot. Another onto Baby Bay. Boys with 11 HP, the spike in no man's land.
Consistent problem for FaZe. And 100 Thieves just flip the script on them, fight for the site instead of playing for retake. And it's just wrapped up. They're not done yet. Match point,
again, though.
It doesn't matter, is what 100 Thieves just said. And Doug, if this goes to overtime, we're in for a long run. Both of these teams cannot win attack rounds for the life of them.
Look at the buy for FaZe. It's so bad. Spectres, light armor. I mean, what can Superman buy?
Couple Guardians, potentially. Yeah, he's got nothing, man. A stinger.
The one saving grace here for FaZe is, given their pace, they do have the Rolling Thunder, right? It paves the way for them to get their way onto the site. But the problem is, 100 Thieves have been playing retake so hard that it's almost pointless.
And the global presence of Bang makes it so difficult to get in anywhere with the amount of utility that there is going to be, even if there's only 2 players. So Unbreakable Knife sent up towards towards ropes. Spots Asuna on the top. And really, this is going to be a classic FaZe. Try to feint towards one side and have Dicey end up lurking or find a kill on the rotation. 1 minute on the clock. They might just regroup with the breach ult.
I think on the other side, you mentioned Classic FaZe. I think you see Classic 100 Thieves too. Look at how far off Asuna and Stellar are. And they're back in spawn.
Fault lines here as well for the nade combo. Oh, he's not out of the form. Oh, he's gone while up in the stars.
And Baby Bay's in a brutal spot. He was all the way up, but he was by himself. Poise is taking a ton of damage too. 100 Thieves looking to take it to overtime, and it certainly seems like that's going to be the case as the members of FaZe just continue to fall apart, left in tatters. Baby Bay with 39 HP. Fastlane to potentially cause some problems, and he talks to the other side. They slip their way through. Things weak. Oh, and it's Baby Bay. And of course, it's Baby Bay. It would have to be Baby Bay, but it's not going to happen. We're going to dance some more.
And it's such a good game to dance with. 12-12, we go to overtime. In the first map. And it was close last series, but we just did not get the overtime. And I'm telling you, guys, strap in. If you don't have food ready right now, I mean, you gotta wait till the last. You're gonna go hungry, but you better strap in and get some food next map. Because again, like I said, no team is really having great success on this attacking side. And to stress that, to give you a little bit more context, the attacking team only got 5 first kills in the entire regulation.
In the previous match, 4 rounds total on attack. Think about that. Between both teams, it was abysmal.
Yep.
But a slightly different look here as 100 Thieves are threatening towards A. Poise has already taken a ton of damage.
This is already a great start for 100 Thieves. They've gotten so much damage and space on the safe side. In the first pick, there you go.
And it was backside. It was Baby Bay, too.
Spike down.
You may have jinxed him on this taking too long.
We do a lot of jinxing.
Yeah, we do. We are guilty of that. Dicey here with the glass cannon. He's got the operator so difficult to try to fight for a retake, so perhaps he tries to upgrade a weapon. What options do you have? He's got Baby Bay's corpse, so there is something. Oh. Now, and what do you do with that, man?
Last player standing.
Yeah, it's just the gravity wall keeps him back. Of course, there's a showstopper here in overtime as well. Farmed his way to getting 100 Thieves the lead back. 13-12 here in overtime.
Switching sides.
Fantastic start.
Match
The
point.
fact that they get so much space on A to be able to be fighting out of A ramp without necessarily committing to the site. That's the grab ball that ended it. Dicey's trying to swing in the angle, and he just can't. I mean, it's perfectly placed, too.
Yeah, that was pretty. Very well done.
And bang, the guy who puts it down. The only player 400 Thieves is not joining them at wherever they are in probably Texas.
Oh, one thing we mentioned was the fact that it felt like it was Asuna, and then everyone else was lagging behind on the frags for 100 Thieves. They've caught up. When you see it kind of spread out, Will's really come online here in the second half.
I told you to wait till 13-11.
Yeah, you did.
I was just wrong about the score.
You did.
I was just wrong about the score. And FaZe, I mean, they had, with this timeout, they have to cook up basically what they did that one round that came out of the timeout where 100 Thieves ended up going aggressive in mid. Something like that, because it has to be a stellar read.
I see what you did there.
Come on, man. Just because I said it doesn't mean I did it. And what's it going to be? 100 Thieves has given up completely on Stellar solo playing on that A side, which is funny because it had some success. But I think it's abusable enough that they want to make sure that there's nothing abusable about the setup, even though it could get them some rounds.
Look at how deep those Astro Stars are. All 3 of them.
Dicey's
Right
through, though.
near the entry.
But it's such a good follow-up with the Prowler to be able to just get right back at it.
Oh, he went unspotted and he has to teleport away, just barely missing the hand of, I believe that was Asuna.
But for one of the first times I've seen on this attack side, that is a lot of utility out, right? There is no C's now from Asuna. There's no nade from Will. All of
Bang is
Bang's
no
stars
stars
right now are getting refreshed. And they're out on the site because of it.
Once again, it's just Baby Bay. He finds himself alone oftentimes. And he's taken care of. Yeah, there's no way. And Asuna, what a clean flick, what a clean transfer, and what a clean map. 14-12 in favor of 100 Thieves.
That was such a good comeback again. And FaZe, dude, after that, I don't know how mentally you can come back from that because that is the same exact story that happened the first time they played. And you know they were thinking about it as they played. Now it just happened again. And now you're wondering, are they just better than us?
The one benefit for FaZe is that they're going to Fracture, and they are pretty freaking good on that map. We're going to go to break. The Deaths will break down what they saw on the other side of this one. We'll be right back.
Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Press play. language. Speak up and get boxed out. We want respect, not clout. Drop bombs and then ball out with no fallout. Now I'm talking about killing like Freddy, I'm feeling like Eddie, I'm making them all so delirious. Delivering steady, I'm willing and ready, I'm not taking none of you serious. Make it rain, that's kingish. Loose lips sink king ships. Flow me that Freddy, I'm feeling like Eddie, I'm making them all so delirious. Killing like Freddy, I'm feeling like Eddie, I'm making them all so delirious. Delivering steady, I'm willing and ready, I'm not taking none of you serious. Make it rain, that's kingish. Loose lips sink king ships. Flow me that Freddy, I'm feeling like Eddie, I'm making them all so delirious.
Trapped. Made that much of a difference. How does he get both?
That comes through. There's the showstopper now as it all fades. Asuna.
And yet again, it's 100 Thieves who come out on top on Split. After a one-sided first half, we are repeating storylines with the one exception being FaZe managed to win a few more attack side rounds to force things to overtime. 100 Thieves still closes things out.
Yeah, they did. For the side of 100 Thieves, they started things, again, so incredibly rough, only being able to pull one more round across that entire attacking side. But once they got on over towards the defense, the retakes were looking really good out of them. The coordination thrown through, and they completely shut down FaZe.
And that's the thing you wonder about is if FaZe has that attack, right? Their attack isn't a finder attack. They also have a defensive attack. But how do you defeat that refined attack, right? 100 Thieves was able to come up really strong in that situation.
If FaZe could just figure out the other half of the map, this team would be so good, but I don't get it. We were talking about it in the green room. An attacking defensive side, really good on that defensive side. And then on the attacking side, it just feels flat. It feels like everything that makes their defense so good doesn't translate to the attack.
Yeah, and I actually wanted to talk about that because their defensive side was really impeccable. They show a lot of different looks. They show the early dicey opping setups. They show the later round where they're playing these contact plays. And I had actually grabbed out one of the rounds for the Telestrator here that I wanted to take a look at. This was in the first half, and this is talking about how they make some of these contact plays off of a chamber trademark. You see early in this round, it's going to be dicey holding over towards B main. He loves flipping the coin on the chamber with a rendezvous play. He likes taking that opening fight, teleporting away, and that's how this one will start on out. You see for the side of 100 Thieves, they're stacking up in towards main. Dicey is taking a bit of a risk, close in the smoke off the rendezvous, and as we let things go forward a little bit, you see he'll take this fight, get spotted on out. It was off a teammate's flash. He TP's back. But what's important is that while all that was going on, there's still utility left to play over on the B site. In close, there's this trademark that's sitting just kind of behind the box. You can't see it, so you're already committed out into the site. And what that acts as is a point of contact for everyone else's utility. You see there's a Breach here who has an Aftershock. You see there's a Neon here that has the Conk as well. So essentially, off the contact of that piece of utility, it sets FaZe up to be able to fight through this smoke. You see the Aftershock go on through there, as well as the ult. Babybay takes that opportunity to just sprint on in, and look at the map again. You can see this completely separates 100 Thieves. 2 players in the backside, 2 players still stuck out towards main, and they get utterly eviscerated because everyone's stunned up. Dicey takes down 2, and it's an easy round for FaZe to clean on up. But the thing is that, well, all that is good, and they have such great ideas on the defense, it's just not translating towards that second side.
It's really weird, right? Because they end this with back-to-back flawless rounds, are able to get the next pistol, but it just doesn't matter for some reason. Obviously, Will is a big part of that, and the rest of the team coming up huge. But again, their game to lose.
Yeah.
And
same trend we saw in the series earlier in the quarterfinals against 100 Thieves. Baby Bay and Dicey on the First Bloods. In that series, they had First Blood 40% of the rounds. 27 out of 67 rounds, they got the First Blood, which is pretty wild. And again, they're looking pretty good here. 9 combined First Bloods. It's just, again, that last little hurdle. It's like Xset in 4th place. Like, they just can't seem to get past that little hurdle. It's just so incredibly unfortunate because it was a really good first half from them, but the second half just never came to fruition for FaZe.
Yeah, and the thing is, for 100 Thieves, I think in towards that second half, they had some things that weren't working that I think could have been exploitable. In the second half, they were practically always playing their Raze and their Fade separated, so they weren't getting that Seasonade util combo that can work so well. I feel like 100 Thieves still in some of these moments are playing a bit inoptimally, but FaZe just was never in a position to punish.
It becomes a situation where you're like, look what 100 Thieves is doing. Oh my God, they are on the precipice of just destroying this round, and then they get in their own head, and they anti-strat themselves.
Yeah, and I think the post ones are a big part of it, because as we're seeing in the highlights, Baby Bay is so good in the early round, on either side, at creating that space, but 100 Thieves just gave it to them. They played back, and the Neon, it's great in the early rounds, but it's really tough to hold a post.
And we're talking about post plants too. I'm looking at FaZe's post plants. For a team that's so good at exploiting the post plants and getting in early, they seem to struggle just as much at preventing the other team from getting in. There was that one round with the Cosmic Divide. They've got players backside and B main. It should be an open and shut round for FaZe, and it falls apart.
Yeah, so many moments where these things just slipped away. But again, I've been critical of 100 Thieves. They still won the match. They again showed that, well, things got tough. Stellar made the right calls in towards the final waning moments, and they took advantage of FaZe's failure. So you can't really fault them for that.
Nope.
Sure, mistakes are still happening,
Right.
but they're winning. And I think the bigger issues continue to show through in FaZe's inability to play the attack side.
If this was Sesame Street, resiliency would be the word of the day, as clearly 100 Thieves has it in them to come from behind, and they're going to need that help if we're going over to Fracture. That's map number 2, and that's FaZe's pick, and we saw what happened before. This is a map that FaZe is definitely proficient at, and it feels like a map that they can potentially exploit what they do even more so than they normally do.
It's kind of ridiculous when you watch FaZe on Fracture, because there'll be moments where, like, all right, the round started. Why is Baby Bay and the defender spawn right now? How did he achieve this so quick? So this is going to be even faster in that sense.
Yeah, it is going to be a really fast one throughout this entire map. I think what's great is that you never have to stop pushing on this map. It's great for a Neon player like Baby Bay. Push in towards spawn, put Dicey in a tough position. I think their attacking side works so much better on this map because aggression is rewarded in such a big way. And because that Neon is so proactive here, I'd imagine 100 Thieves again will be consistently maybe taking an early fight with their chamber, then falling back, trying to play in towards the retake, which gives time for Dicey to set up those forward rendezvous and replicate his success on the defensive side over on the attack.
Now, is there a chance? We'll get into the agent select in a minute. Is there a chance that 100 Thieves changes things up because things didn't work for them the last time, and they know they have to put a stop to Baby Bay and Dicey being on the rampage? Because Dicey was the one who popped off on Fracture last time. 30 kills against 100 Thieves in the opening quarterfinal match.
And he wasn't, looking at it, it wasn't really like the first kills for him either. He had quite a few, but
he was mopping up
the middle of the rounds, dissecting the strat as it was happening, rendezvousing back to get in an even perfect position. So this could be the shooting range that comes back up again for Dicey, and to shut that down, you basically need to play slow, right? Figure out where he is, work around him. 100 Thieves in the past has had to do that strategy before with a completely different team internationally, right? Avoid where Defo was. Maybe they can do it again.
But when you play slow against an aggressive team, what happens? We saw that even on Split.
History can repeat itself.
Yeah, exactly.
You say that. You say what? But you play slow against an offensive team. You're playing defense. You just win because FaZe utilizes all their utility on their executes, and 100 Thieves is fully committed to playing in towards these retakes, and then they just win. The thing is, I think it's tougher to do so with the composition. They only have their breach normally as the sole initiator here. I think there is a world where 100 Thieves maybe pivots, pull out a couple more initiators. Teams have liked the Fade on this map from time to time. I think that could be effective when you're combining it with the Raze. Maybe get rid of that Sage, bring something new on in. But again, it's the playoffs. You don't have a lot of prep time. I doubt that those changes will actually come to fruition.
And we'll be jumping into the agent select in just a minute to see if there's going to be any changes or if it's going to be more of the same old standard. I think when we came into this series, we looked at the map pool and we go, okay, 100 Thieves on Split, probably going to win the map. Maybe FaZe can find enough rounds. They looked really strong. They still couldn't close it out. Fracture should be FaZe's map. Breeze is probably where things get decided, but there's a possibility that a change here could turn things on its head.
We did think those last 2 maps could be phases, so pivotal that 100 Thieves was able to squeak out the overtime in the first.
Okay, well, as we look at the comps coming on through, it's not going to be anything changing.
Nope.
Not super surprised.
Same
for
old,
100
same
Thieves.
old.
They get to start on the defensive side. They get to play some of their opening gambits, and it actually is going to be Asuna on that race as well. Is that what they were playing before?
Yes.
It is.
Yeah,
It is. Okay, this is like the one map where he is sticking
Where
by
he's still
that
playing a
duelist
duelist,
role.
correct.
Yeah, I've gotten so used to just seeing Willin on that role, but I think Asuna is obviously still really good at it. We were talking in the pre-show about maybe some of the issues with him switching on into that initiator, so I like the choice.
Well, with the agent select ready, that does mean it's just about time to jump into the action. As again, we see the same maps. 100 Thieves and FaZe in a rematch. We got to see what was going to happen on Split. Same outcome, a little bit different, goes to overtime. Will we see a repeat on Fracture? We've got the casters standing by to find out. Doug, Balla, it's all yours.
Thank you, Bach. Balla, it's a sobering thought to consider that FaZe are potentially 1 map away from their stage being done, or potentially forcing us to map 3. They looked really good on Fracture previously, and they're going to have a chance to show it to us again.
Yep, and 1 step closer to 100 Thieves achieving a top 4. We already know who the opponent is going to be next for these 2 teams. When they win, it's NRG. 100 Thieves, very familiar with them already, beating them 2-0 in the groups. So things looking good right now, but they've got to get through FaZe, and I think the map switch as this goes on actually does kind of favor FaZe. Obviously, FaZe won this last time on Fracture, and it was not a 13-11. They did win 9-3 the first half and lost a few to make it 13-7. We'll see. Is there a difference from 100 Thieves in the prep?
Started off on the attacking half previously. You really seldom see that wall go down on pistols because it's so difficult to go through and you don't have enough firepower, but this time FaZe, they just storm the gates. They barrel right through.
And already up to, there's 3 players in the flank right now, and this wall actually that Stellar put down makes it really difficult for them to get through that choke unless they wait it out. And look already, they've got a setup here. Flyas on top with 1 aftershock. He can swing, and Baby Bay can do the exact same thing. Asta and Bang are in such trouble.
3 people watching that angle. How do you get through?
What is this?
Do you do?
Look at this cannon.
Looks like the portal. It looks like the portal gun. But it shoots bullets. A Prime Gaming Flawless comes through his face. Weren't able to win the pistol in the opener on Fracture last time. They do it here.
And that is now 3 pistol round wins for FaZe. So already improving on the 2 and 4 record that they had in the last series.
1 enemy remaining.
It does feel like FaZe is improving on slight things from the last series, but that last map just nullifies it all.
Gotta go.
Fast up to arcade. Look at that. They're all Groot.
They're posing for a picture.
I mean, that's perfectly set up to counter Baby Bay. That's an anti-strat if I've ever seen one on the eco round from 100 Thieves, because he's always deep up halls alone by himself. They stay far enough back with the flashes. Ooh, they could have done damage.
Problem is now, because they gambled on A, they were wrong. They have to figure out how to retake B with nothing but pistols, right? Nothing but classics. I don't think there was a single upgraded pistol in that arsenal, and well, it's playing out about as you'd expect. Will and Bang have already fallen. And there's not much left behind this punch. They haven't really made it out of mid.
Interesting part too is because of the market flawless.
1 enemy remaining.
FaZe is leading so heavily in terms of any ult generation here. 100 Thieves are going to be a ways away with another clean round here. And let's see if they can do what they did on Split's first half as well. Convert the bonus. Now, I was mentioning the maps at the beginning because 100 Thieves has given him the opportunity to play Baby Bay on Neon at every single map, and Breeze is going to be one of those as well, and it allows Dicey to consistently be an opping agent. Last time they played a Decider on Icebox, and Dicey was playing Sage, so he was really not opping at all. This time they give full strength to FaZe on all 3 maps, so they have to try to hold these next 2.
Poor Will. What does he do here? Oh, that's what he does. He gets 2. He anchors down the site by himself. Finds a good bit of value. But the res is going to come through as Austin tries to spam into the smoke. Spike still not planted. Just now gets scooped up by Flya.
Also could put this plant really difficult, so Dicey has to work a pick before he goes for it. No, he's not going to toss it.
Oh, the Molly 2 out from Bang. There's the nade.
Here.
A little short.
Good flash though. 2 kills from Dicey and a 3rd as well. Just absolutely dominates them in a position where they were delaying the plant for so long.
We're over here talking about what utility they have to delay and what are FaZe going to do. They're outnumbered. How do you play around everything they have? Just like this. This is how you do it. Dicey's aim looked magnetic on that second flick, and then the 3rd to clean things up. That's pretty. 5-0 start for him.
Hey man, if FaZe doesn't make it to Copenhagen, maybe Dicey can enter that aim lab competition.
Speaking of which, if you haven't, go do it right now. Well, maybe after the series, not right now.
I'm seeing a lot of great stuff from Hunted Thieves to try to deny Baby Bay in this Hall's position. But the problem with that is, once they realize that, they can just go somewhere else, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're exploring underground. They're going to realize that there's nothing in arcade. Actually, that did get past them. So once again, it's going to be a situation where they gamble towards A and FaZe at B.
It's just Dicey who's been left behind. We highlighted his hot start.
As soon as his flash comes off from Derek, he's out with the TP. So really not in danger whatsoever.
Stellar understanding where some of the pressure's coming from now.
Love it.
Baby Bay pushes him back. Yeah, it's clean.
Yeah, not over-aggressing. Something that Baby Bay has definitely added this year into his game.
All set up. Teleport's ready.
A little bit of discipline goes a long way.
I see a chance to another as Asuna tries to dance around. And it's Superman who gets the last 2 kills as FaZe get to 4. They've checked all the boxes that they needed to check so far in Fracture. You win the pistol, you're able to win the second, reset them again, do it all over again.
Exactly the same start. Just flip sides, exactly what you just said. I love repeating you. And
hot start from Poise too, man.
And he's been great. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
From Split, he was the top fragger for FaZe. On a team that usually it's 100% Dicey and Baby Bay taking the majority of the kills.
Go, go, go.
Fast up here again. Just spamming to get the op off of the top of the jet angle. And that's not going to cut it. Will just a tag on the fly instead of a full kill. He's got utility here and the breach ult.
Meanwhile, 100 Thieves continue to stack 3 members A and then have to rotate over, and you leave someone like Dicey or someone else who's at least good for 1 every time.
Stellar
and
tucks
that's
his
exactly
hair.
what he does.
Ooh.
Come on, man. And now the Rolling Thunder. The Tour de Force not going to find value as it gets pushed off. And look at how FaZe just pushed forward. They just want to fight.
I think they just calmed it where he's coming from.
Oh my gosh.
Still not fast enough though. There we go from 100 Thieves. Respond with a round of their own. That was definitely a little bit ambitious with that push.
Yeah.
All right, with the Rolling Thunder coming into spawn, it definitely tagged up too. And you're trying to use the speed, but you don't have all the rest of the angles cleared. You don't have Canteen cleared. You don't have the site actually cleared because they had to give up on the tower push. Because they 100 Thieves did such a good job striking back, at least holding it off for the time being.
Thieves calling a timeout here in ball. You mentioned that, yes, 100 Thieves are on the board. They get what they need. That still got down to a 1v1 at the end.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that easily could have gone the other way. With how on FaZe's aim seems to be on Fracture, you can, again, easily fathom a world in which it went the other way. But ultimately, 100 Thieves on the board. They called a timeout. Kind of wonder what discussions will go like here, and I think this is where it'll be key to see if there are any adaptations. Given how much 100 Thieves have been investing towards denying Baby Bay's aggression on A, and how it's just kind of gone untested, because he just hasn't gone that way,
yeah.
I wonder if at this point they adapt, if they try to adjust.
I mean, they've been doing a good job at actually finding a spot to push on 2 of the eco rounds that they had, and then that gun round as well. Flanking Tree super fast because FaZe is not committing to any sort of default.
Yeah, it was just Dicey.
I think that could work out very well for them.
Here the tour de force. Early wall out from Stellar. And the showstopper! Oh, but it's not able to get anything. The Spectre does as Asuna gets 2. Superman's been stuck on the other side of this wall the whole time. Well, it gives him a little something to think about. Tease, but that's all it is. What did FaZe do from here? That was their one linchpin. That was the one real chance they had at finding some space on B, and it's fallen.
So can still work his magic, but there's 2 players holding this angle. Is he in TP range? Yes, but I don't think he can peek Canteen with it.
I think he's out of range. Oh, duel on the other side! That duel goes in favor of Dicey. Perhaps not expecting there was another one there. Stellar's tucked.
He's going exploring.
Of course he is.
Peng left the angle.
30 seconds left.
But they have to get on site with the spike.
They found my trap.
The nice thing is, yeah, there is a trademarked to deny any sort of rotations from Asuna. It's off with 18 seconds left. I don't know how much longer they can wait, but that's a second. Good on Dicey to get a second one there.
Other smoke
Now
just
the
went down.
spike starts to go through, and you saw Stellar who's starting to push his way through Canteen. The orbital strike comes down. Stellar was there the entire time. He never left that cubby.
Yeah.
Such patience.
Well, he also got put back behind another smoke by Superman. That was a surprising round. The fact that Dicey just leads the chart and just basically calls that he can make this round work, and he almost does. If he hits that shot on Asuna, he could be back in time to help against this orbital strike, potentially trade the kill, and be forced to play a 1v1 where Spike is not in this position. So yeah, maybe that's not that winnable. Finally going for this Halls pressure, but they actually does get stunned. It's instant.
The setup's a bit different. They just take the fight to Asuna's doorstep. He gladly takes care of Baby Bay. The Rolling Thunder through. This boy's there's just no way through. There's no way out. And then additionally, we saw that early Sage Wall come out from Stellar again. Similar angle. Will's able to find one with the op. As numbers go back in favor of 100 Thieves.
Great job clapping back on all sides of the map there. And obviously we did see Dicey start to heat up with that op last round. But economically, the way that they're playing this is going to keep an op out of his hands for quite some time. The long ranges on the map make it very useful for him to go for it, and now it's just trying to get out a dish. Still a player in sight.
30 seconds left.
Oh, caught with utility out.
Last player standing.
Superman's left alone now. He'd have to get the spike down somehow, but he had the orbital strike. Ultimately, Asuna pushing up Halls was a bit too much for him to handle. 100 Thieves get to 3.
And once again, 100 Thieves improving against the 9-3 halves that that FaZe put up against them last time they played.
Well, don't jinx them.
I'm just stating the facts.
Look at that buyout from FaZe, man. You mentioned it at the end of the previous round, right? Like, the way that they've been playing this. Not a whole lot of money to go around. What is that? Asuna tries to catch him sleeping, tries to swing forward. The utility's there, but Derek once again with the utility out. Gets caught. And the ops missing the grill. They've got the null command through, but Stellar's on the flank.
These flanks again from 100 Thieves. The gambles and the pushes that they're taking are working so well.
Oh. Stellar again on a good swing to trade out Bangwood fallen. Got the spike planted. Will still with that operator. 4v2 in favor of FaZe. Make that a 4v3, but Dicey's there to cause more problems. And Baby Bay is too. Will with an op. Has to push forward. Maybe too deep to try to save here as Baby Bay gets a third on the round and FaZe get to 5.
Surprised that works out for them after the initial trades. Back after they killed Will to start the round. That push from Dish, catching them on the north side. Again, they're really just, once they find aggression, they're letting FaZe go into it and flanking on the other side of the map. That has had great success for them so far. FaZe need to start defaulting to try to catch and try to deter that idea entirely. And they do split up a little bit.
Kind of, yeah. That's just not the FaZe way, you know?
It's not, but it's what costed them on split down the line. I see back on the op though this time, and he's walking up with it. The threats of Stellar's multiple different walls on this B side. Sometimes they're aggressive in towards tree. Other times, on top of it, behind it in a cubby. He's doing a great job here at keeping him guessing.
Knife tagging Derek, and you haven't really seen, this is probably the slowest round we've seen out of FaZe. Who knows how long. 43 seconds left in the round, and they haven't really committed to anything. And off of that, they haven't used very much utility. Baby Bay still has his ult. You still have a flash from Poise, 2 smokes from Superman. They still have all of the tools at their disposal. Now you see them come online. Stimmy, as Dicey backs up. You also see the fast lane as they try to get access onto B. 100 Thieves, and their patented retake.
How many times have we seen 5v5 retakes so far this series work out so well from 100 Thieves?
Yeah. No Dawson, the showstopper here.
It's a great split though from FaZe. They have plenty of spread. Here's the showstopper.
Spotted one, but wasn't able to land it. Meanwhile, Dicey gets one with the op. Same op that was lost in the previous round. Well, has slipped in. Oh, but the op is too good from Dicey again. Now you see the molly start to rain down onto the spike. His number's still in favor of FaZe, and they've gone from bad to worse. Derek's not going to pull any of that off. FaZe get to 6.
Much different situation. Nobody flanking on either extremity. So FaZe is free to maintain that space and deny anybody pushing past that smoke. The only real tool that Asuna, or that 100 Thieves had was Asuna with that showstopper. And that'll be the first true real gun round that FaZe ends up winning out here so far, even though they're up 6-3. And it will force Asuna down, or not Asuna, I keep saying Asuna when I mean to say 100 Thieves. Freudian slip. But yeah, they're down to pistols right now. We've got a shorty from Will.
That's really the only thing. Dicey still has that operator. He found value on it in the previous round. He's got a chance to do it again. His FaZe decide to go exploring down in tunnel. Not going to find much of anything. At least not there. Dicey with the op. There are no diminishing returns on that one.
Free kill. It's traded. Poise backing up all the way, and they're doing a great job handling the pistol rounds from 100 Thieves that are quite interesting there. That could have netted them all 2 of those kills up on top of Dish. And he'll even knife the final player, Derek, playing underneath him.
And the thing is, this fight and what's happening over on A, ultimately insignificant as the spike is on B. Will's able to find one with the headhunter, is able to teleport back to safety.
30 seconds left.
Derek joins him. Just note that Poise is on a flank. He's going to be very late to this, but he is on the flank, so if they can find something, perhaps 100 Thieves have a chance. Poise shows up just in the nick of time. 3 for him as FaZe get to 7.
And this will be interesting economically for 100 Thieves right now. This will either last by if they don't end up winning this. And they have to win it cleanly if they want anything in the next round. They will finally get an op from Will, and this is actually quite rare. Especially for him to go for light armor here.
And
100 Thieves doesn't op generally. I mean,
they really don't. And the last time they had it was, what, 3 rounds ago where they lost it? Dicey's picked it up, and he still has it.
Yep.
Right there.
So for them to commit it multiple times on this half, I mean, it's obviously such a powerful tool. This is fast from FaZe.
Dicey's up, finding another.
And Will's gone as well.
Yeah, they're getting kills all over the map.
How does he get out of there, man? Just bobbing and weaving. Both kills on top of tree, and they're gone right back over towards this aggressive wall that Will tried to peek over.
Found some value there before. I wish we had a counter on how many op kills Dicey's got with that op. Yeah.
Oh, well. I can tell you he got 15 op kills in the series last time, and he didn't even op on the last map.
Jeez.
And Cryo farmed them yesterday. 22 op kills over 2 maps. It's not something that we're used to really talking about, the amount of op kills somebody gets in a game, but in this specific matchup, I think it is interesting because, like I said, 100 Thieves doesn't op, so they don't really have anybody to challenge that specifically. In the group stages, they only had 3 op kills the entire time.
3?
3.
That is mind-numbingly low.
Yeah.
And you kind of wonder if those 3 were those just ops that were picked up off of somebody else. That's insane.
The lowest out of any team by far. And it does speak to the continued strategy for 100 Thieves. They've been missing this since Dicey left the team, right? They've been missing somebody to really catapult their opping. Nitro picked it up a while back. This is a completely different roster, and that still carries over.
Last round of the first half, you're on Fracture.
You want to play?
Admittedly, a very similar scoreline to what we had on Split, but this time it just feels like FaZe is so much more in control. Eric has that Rolling Thunder with a Bucky in the hands of Will, with the Tour de Force to back it up. It's still Spectres on the side of 100 Thieves. They don't have a lot behind this.
So I was talking about
Here.
losing that round hurts them so much. Any utility they use here, he could get out of. The poison does fall. Back in tree.
I wonder what it was that Eric saw to drop that Rolling Thunder. It seems like FaZe want to re-aggress into that space.
And this is interesting because Derek now has a fault line. Exactly. So the Rolling Thunder kind of baits them to think that they're safe to walk in here.
Here we go. Baby Bay. Satchel to delay. Tries to swing around. He gets the kill onto Asuna. And I believe he dealt a little bit of damage onto Derek too, but Dicey ultimately cleaned him up. Someone's going to have to hold fast by himself. One. Not able to get anything else. Will and Pang left alone. That might be all they need. The Tour de Force finding value onto Superman. 2v2 here. Isolated. Banks still has one smoke. He's going to have to do it himself. Flicks on the first, but the molly is out and Dicey cleans him up. A 9-3 half for FaZe. And I know thoughts everywhere about curses, but we'll see what happens on the other side of this break. the last time we were in this position, Ball, I put you in a sticky predicament, right? Where I put you in the hot seat and I asked you whether or not you believed in the curse. I believe you said no, and ultimately you were wrong that time. This time, I'm going to spare you.
I was right.
I'm going to spare you the trouble.
Please do. Let's get on to the game. Please spare me this trouble.
Oh, 100 Thieves, now on their attacking side, have to figure out how they overcome this deficit and try to put them away. Ideally here, they don't even bother getting to Breeze, but that's a big problem they have to overcome.
First, got to start with the pistols, and FaZe has been winning them all today.
Yeah, this would be perfect on pistols so far if they win this one, right?
Yep. The only reason it didn't really help on Icebox was because they didn't manage to keep the 9-3 scoreline. 100 Thieves was really hoping for a FaZe aggro down tree there. Similar to what we saw when they lined up to try to catch Baby Bay and Halls early in the half last time. And it does not come. All it is Dicey shoulder peeking, and he actually spots quite a few after the flash.
Takes a little bit of damage before teleporting out. You're right, he got the info he was looking for. Thing is, since then, it's been quiet up until now. You see the utility dumped into towers. They're going to try to funnel their way through, and he's been waiting the entire time. Overstays his welcome as Stellar cleans him up. Now the spike is down.
It's such a tough angle for Dicey to actually play from with just a pistol. The verticality of it.
Smoke's down.
And we already have Bang in a great. Oh no, the smoke's coming out. No, evens things out, and they've got a flank on Arcade.
We've seen that so many times this series. People with utility out. Asuna waiting until his very last second. The frenzy is true there. He's able to clean up Superman, but Poise applying pressure on the other side. A 2v2 here as Fly is weak. Poise is too. Now Fly is left in this 1v2. What was that gun? That's twice now.
Yeah, he had a classic there. I think the last time it was like a sheriff or something, so it felt like it had a little bit more of a punch.
Yeah.
You ever watch Dragon Ball?
Yeah.
I have to ask first, because you remember the guy like who fights at the tower? He has the knife in his. Never mind. We're getting.
We'll come back. We'll come back to it. Listen, that does look funny though. Maybe we won't come back. I do think though, lost in that conversation is the fact that 100 Thieves won the pistol.
Yeah.
Right. We've been talking about phasing their pistols and how good they've been at it, and maybe that was the problem, is this like turret. And maybe that's why that tech pause is coming through. We got to figure out what's going on with that guy's arm.
I will say that in the other game on Fracture, FaZe responded with an eco right away. And that was the different half, though. So
first half, yeah.
Yeah, it's still, FaZe has been considerably good when it comes down to rounds just like this, right? Where they could squeeze out a little bit of a weapon. You know, they shrink the disadvantage, I guess you could say, with how good Dicey is on these rounds. And he's already gotten a couple bullets in his Headhunter. And how fast Baby Bay can strike. That's the way that they're able to nullify those disadvantages.
They also don't necessarily historically mind forcing here, right?
No, not at all. I mean, we casted the game against Sentinels. I don't even remember where they forced like 7 rounds in a row before actually finding any success.
Committed to the cause here. Again, technical pause coming through. We'll get you info as soon as we have it. But for now, the question is, now that FaZe have lost the pistol for the first time this series, how do they approach this problem?
Oh, just wait it out. It's not so much of a problem right now. I think it's literally just one of 100 Thieves' win conditions. So the fact that they convert, I think that's more for them. Now they need to think about how to capitalize on that. And I think so far so good in the way they're setting up in post plans. That has been their strength all season long. Is the structure they're able to impose on those situations, and we just saw it in pistol round. Even though Bang gets caught with his iPad in his hands. And look at this slow on the backside of Dish here. To make it hard for people to fall back once they realize that there's pressure here. There is none, though, from FaZe. They're all in A calls.
See the Ultra being prioritized in the Bay. Oh, Asuna, that's so clean, man.
Yeah.
So clean.
there was no pressure back on this, right? There's nobody even spotting it, so. We come in on the Aslan's POV there, and I'm like, oh, is there a Neon on this team? I was like, am I watching Baby Bay? Because it felt like so fast. He shouldn't have been there. But he was, and FaZe was not expecting it either, so no success fighting back in a thrifty opportunity.
You hear the spike continue to tick away. Asuna with some spidey senses, some crazy ones. Oof. Superman down to 45 HP there. Manages to preserve his life. And it's not like he has much to lose here. 100 Thieves should be able to funnel out through halls, through dish. They should be able to get away scot-free. Yeah, it looks like
one enemy remaining.
I think Baby Bay really didn't want Asuna to kill him there, to be honest. Although, knowing Baby Bay, he was probably coming in to get a gun. Here's the satchel. With the stim, too. So that's why the speed felt ridiculous. And they've just pinched everybody in halls. Well done.
FaZe here with the buy. They have full rifles, too.
Back to the same dish control that 100 Thieves ran last round with the slow and the boombot combination to clear out the backside of this. And FaZe going right back in the same 3 halls control. This time they're going to fight it, though.
Dicey didn't have a trademark there last time, right? Now he does. And it pops off. Poised with the swing out as they seem to be holding off just fine. Yeah, they haven't really made much progress at all.
I love it.
One enemy remaining.
Very well played. Very well played by FaZe.
I mean,
they're not out of the woodworks quite yet.
Okay. Very well played by the guys holding an orb. Trying to get any sort of value out of the round after they know they've won it is pretty funny. The reason I like that so much from FaZe is that they just got countered in that same setup, but they realize, okay, if that happens again, yeah, you're right. They had the trademark this time, so they have a little bit more notice that it's coming. But they're like, yeah, we only had pistols, and
That's not ready.
we have protocols that can be used to set this up and actually fight back. In that case, they got the first kill. It's slightly different from 100 Thieves because they were fighting in halls before the dish push came in, but
yeah,
still confidence in the setup from FaZe.
And the only reason they fought was because Dicey swung out, right? Like, FaZe were the ones who initiated that.
I also like the adjustment they've made, the trademark on halls this time. Maybe just trying to find anybody who walks up to dish in an off angle of his own. But the pressure's coming towards Flya, Poised, and Superman.
Oh, he just saw it, what, 3?
Yep.
Asuna with the showstopper.
The KO ult instantly cancels.
Yeah, it's perfect. Asuna had a chance here to do something, but with the Phantom, it just doesn't quite hit the same. In that circumstance, if Flya is not able to hold the angle with that, 100 Thieves continue to barrel their way forward, but they haven't taken care of Superman quite yet. He's still on backside, and he's able to find a second. Relay bolts, utility flying all over the place as he keeps him back. He's gotten 3. Bang stops him finally. It's a 2v2 on the site. Derek with the spike.
30 seconds
Dash goes up, though.
planted.
Oh, what can they find?
Great smoke to assist Derek. So much more room to maneuver.
It almost just feels like we're waiting for Baby Bay to go. Right? To throw it into that high gear. Swing his way around the side. His way forward. Baby Bay wins it first. And there's the swing that I'm talking about. But bang! With the transfers, he gets 3.
What is that spray transfer from Bang? Unreal. Baby Bay is moving like a Beyblade. Zipping around the side. Look at him. Look at this. And he still pulls off the final shot. That is so clutch from Bang to keep them in this game.
He had 7 bullets when he flicked back to the second player. So on that transfer, bro, come on. Unreal scenes out from 100 Thieves. This FaZe again on this light buy. Got a couple pistols, 3 of them to be exact. 100 Thieves barreled their way in through halls. The ult orb getting picked up, being funneled in. FaZe playing retake here.
Yeah, they're in for Baby Bay and Dicey, who have the guns in this situation.
Spike planted.
And they'll come up through Dish. Baby Bay's got his ult as well. He can pop that, give another gun to somebody else.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm expecting to see here, but hasn't done it yet. Perhaps waiting to get through the wall and then decide to go. Or does he keep it himself?
Keeping it.
Stellar's playing up on his wall. He's able to get a couple. Oh, how have they gotten this? They've gotten into a 1v2, but ultimately not enough.
Just funneling, just dropping out of Dish. And yeah, it's super interesting on that. Look at the score line right now. Dicey's at 23 and 8. Big reason why they're up here so far. The amount of kills he was finding on that attacking side. But Baby Bay at 9 and 12. This is not normal. Both of these kind of score lines that we've seen out from FaZe this series is very strange, considering Dicey and Baby Bay consistently combined for over 50% of the team's kills.
Early aggression out from B. From FaZe, and
You want to
as
play,
we have a
let's
moment here,
play.
Balla, it really feels like Austin is playing on another level right now.
Yeah, he is. And speaking of stat lines, I mean, I feel like we're not necessarily seeing it all. It kind of feels like a Ye moment where he's just at the top of the scoreboard and fragging out of his minds. But this is his best performance, I think, so far statistically. This is the most kills he's had over 2 maps so far at this stage. He's already up 42.
And he's looking for more. The double satchel tries to get onto the rope. Nade goes a bit wide. Overstrike, you see this is a bit disjointed. But now they reaggress, and now they're going to have to deal with Baby Bay. The stun in his face, and he doesn't seem to care. Now poised. Have a whole lot on the other side of that. Once again, a 1-for-1. That's okay, but Stellar brings Will back.
30 seconds
Eric
left.
controls the site as well. And they have stairs control. The most difficult retakes is coming in this angle.
The thing is,
they haven't got the spike down yet.
Exactly. They hadn't really made their way out at all. Dicey's second shot is enough to get the kill. Now they have to drop the Rolling Thunder to push him back. 13 seconds left. They should be able to get the spike down now.
10 seconds left.
He spam.
Oh my gosh, that was so close. Fly sells utility. He's got a flash he can swing off of. 2v2 here. Will, with the Tour de Force, the flash pushes him off the angle. He's not able to land the shot. The flick wasn't there. Bang's going a bit wide too, but he gets the second at the end as 100 Thieves get to 8.
Another massive round from Bang. The spray transfer round and then this as well. And back-to-back gun rounds, and it forces FaZe back again to a forced situation. And if you've ever seen a Valorant game described as Hero Ball, this is it right here.
Yep.
Look at Dicey. Find another Vandal. And he can afford to do it. But so often he's putting, not him specifically, but the team is putting themselves in an economic weirdness because they really want to put guns in these guys' hands every single round.
You're just trying to feed the hot hand, you know?
Yeah.
1000%. Baby Bay here has this ult. Just waiting for the right moment to potentially trigger it. Not wise to the fact that there are 5 people on the other side of this. There's the ult. He tries to find some solace behind his stuns, but it's not going to matter. He was alone here. Superman was kind of close by, but he was met with a similar fate.
And while Poise gets the trade there, Ice is left on Dish. Poise will get cleaned up, and Under Thieves has done such a good job neutralizing this Dish spot in post-plant situations where they don't actually come through them themselves.
Kind of wonder there too. You know, we talked about Baby Bay with his ult down under A, and he obviously felt comfortable enough in his ability to delay any sort of advances off of his stuns, but that almost looked easy.
Yep, sure. And we'll have another FaZe timeout. They're using their last one. And they need it badly. They need it real badly. They've only won one round on this defensive side. These second half problems from FaZe are just so hard to get over. And I said at the beginning of the series, I talked about how difficult mentally this is to bring back from them because they just failed in the same situation that they put themselves in last series. And Doug, it's happening again.
Yeah.
It's happening again. And on their map pick, the one they won last time, a little bit more handily.
And as a player, you can try to fight those thoughts back all you want, but they're there.
Yep.
And with every round that you feel 100 Thieves winning, and as you see your lead essentially disintegrate, that voice gets louder. Right? And here's where we know FaZe what they're capable of in the server. We know their aggression they can play with. We know that they're straight shooters, some of the best. But now we bring their mental fortitude into question. How do you weather this level of adversity?
Here.
Another slow lineup, this one different. Towards the backside of Arcade.
Last cannon
Won't
out from
push off
Dicey.
of it. Look at the push from FaZe. Will is just ready for it, especially after the smoke gives up. What's happening? Not a red herring this time, and he's just gone.
Ooh.
Is he gone in time, though? I think he is.
Yeah,
He just heard the door, too, so he has a lot of information about what's happening on A side.
Just like that, FaZe scatter back. You see the showstopper. Wall
Instantly
goes up.
pop to avoid getting KO'd.
Yeah. There's that KO that you were talking about. Faya gets the opener. Dicey with an op shot. Remember, he was on a glass cannon, had no armor, still manages to land that shot, and they've been able to hold fast for now.
And they have no way to get out of this. They've walled themselves in.
Player standing. Spike
You've
down
got Will.
A.
With no armor. Op still on the other side. Gutsy call out from FaZe, man. Gutsy to fully send into the southern half of the map, to fully put the op in Dicey's hands without any armor, and it pays off.
Might have just saved the game. They've still got to get through a bank from 100 Thieves. A lot of money available here. Meanwhile, their own, Baby Bay doesn't even have a gun as of right now.
What a call, bro.
And it's interesting because you could see how difficult that situation was for 100 Thieves to actually fight for. Because their setup is so ingrained to stop anything coming from Dish side, right? The amount of times they're walling spawn, smoking Dish multiple times to keep Dicey off of that. And this time they're all coming through Hall, so they just leave themselves in an unbelievably rough spot.
Operator still in play. Dicey takes a little bit of damage, just a tickle from the nade, but that's it.
That nade is designed to counter Dicey.
Yeah.
The first kills and everything going in their way. Now this time Austin's going to take a push into spawn, though Derek as well. And they make this situation much more playable.
They're pushing forward. They had sight, but they decide to fight. They push in. And Superman stops them. FaZe get to 12. That timeout, the play call right out of it, has gotten them here, and it's exactly what they needed.
Yep. And they actually have semi-broken the bank of 100 Thieves, so 100 Thieves will call their final timeout. And we'll see how things continue. That one definitely hurts because this Sky Nade, it's a nade specifically to pop way high and then land later in an instant. And Dicey just sits in it the entire time. That last nade would have done such an incredible damage to him. But he still gets the shot because they're slightly ahead.
Now it's on 100 Thieves to call a timeout, dig into their playbook, and see what they can find. They had all momentum, but again, it feels like FaZe have just kind of snatched it back here to get so close to the finish line, to get them to breeze. FaZe just need one more punch to get them there.
100 Thieves not willing to let that happen and want this to end right now. Otherwise, they're still in for a strenuous map 3. As we talk about the mental in terms of FaZe, but for 100 Thieves it's the same. Like every time having to come back from a 9-3 or an 8-4, that also physically takes a toll off of you.
And financially, they look at their buy right now. They don't have much here. They're trying to go fast. They spam and they get Flya. How much more can they find as Asuna double satchels up? He's able to upgrade the weapon. He's got a Vandal now. 2 players on the other side. He lands a shot. The orbital strike's there. Superman swings, but the damage has been done. The kill has been found.
And back to old tricks. This time, though, Baby Bay is coming on the flank. And they use a deeper wall this time. Dicey has no angle.
You don't have Asuna. Can they do it without him? The Molly drops. Stellar's able to get the spike down. Dicey not able to get anything with the up. 4v2. Baby Bay tagged up. We talked about the fact that they didn't have much of a buy, and again, Baby Bay has no choice but to tuck tail and run for the fences. Perhaps try to keep this Vandal into the next round because, as you mentioned, Balla, FaZe are not in a great financial spot either.
No, but at least they've already clinched overtime. Meanwhile, for 100 Thieves, I cannot stress how impactful that push from Asuna was. For them to get such an advantage, a 4 versus 3, as they're already on site, and the rest of the players are nowhere to be found to actually challenge that. Nets them a 4-gun coming into this next round. Their money is shot.
Yeah, it's bad.
And they just saved themselves to play in these next 3 rounds that they're going to need.
Now, the other interesting thing here, 100 Thieves have both Stellar and Derek 1 point away from their ults. Note how they prioritize, if they play for an orb, who it's going to, because I think that will tell us a lot about how they want to play this through. If they prioritize the res, let Asuna go free.
Yep. And look at the scoreboard right now. If you had this on your bingo card, Asuna and Dicey going head-to-head against each other. The playoff match 2022, the ult gets Flya completely.
They read him like a book. It was the same spot, Balla. Last time it was no way. No shot he does that. But Asuna with the nade. Derek has the Rolling Thunder. And there it comes. They're going to push right into it. They're going to have to hold fast. They're going to have to do it themselves. Dicey stunned up. But still healthy. Op still in hand. And it was chaotic to open the round. And it comes to a screeching halt.
You talked about the orbs, Doug, at the beginning of this round. 1 away from res. But the bodies all on this A side. You have to wonder what they're thinking right now. Are they going to go for this orb and tuck back towards A? How do they get them to rotate off to actually pull that off? I'm not sure. They're not going for it. Straight for B. And FaZe has left it completely because they're reading into that factor themselves.
You'll get it. But as you said,
no,
everyone's so far away. Yeah, the res is not in play here. And they've split up. They're trying to hold the northern and the southern side of the map on their own. Meanwhile, FaZe pushing in across the middle of the map.
No smokes here from Superman. They have to go dry. Just a
Derek
flash.
has a fault line. Derek pushed off. Time's running out here. FaZe are going to go. They're going to have to go soon. Now they funnel onto the site. They play back just enough to potentially retake off the site that they had originally had themselves. They don't know that Stellar's here. 1, but that's all it's going to be. Dicey's going to get the op. The defuse comes through. FaZe win Fracture again.
Literally the same script. It's so crazy that we're here at this position. A 9-3 half again from FaZe, this time a lot closer. It definitely looked like that was doable for 100 Thieves, but some heroics on both sides keeps it in FaZe's control.
Freaking unbelievable, man. And now everyone starts to ask Breeze, like, what do either of these teams have in store for that map? The decider, lower bracket match, Copenhagen up for grabs. It doesn't get any better than this. We're going to go to a break, catch our breaths. We'll be right back.
I'm on my job, I'm doing my thing, I'm flex on you boys, I do it again. They say whatever, and I don't do talking, you usually score. I'm going in, I'm going 50 for 50. Me and the team is the fur. I got it out of the dirt, I put it out of the ground. Everything on my own, too cold to the bone, top dog, I'm alone, whole bad backtrack to the throne. Yeah, hey, look at the shine on the ring. Look at the ring, I'm a king. Look at the king in his court, it's a breaking report. I got time to make amends. Hey, time to get the win. Hey, flexing on you boys, working out again. 10 out of 10, dub yet again. can't be stopped. You are, get out my way. I gotta win, act like I'm not the one on the top. We've been it before, you know what I did. I'm on my job, I'm doing my thing. I flex on you boys, I do it again. They said whatever, and I don't just talking, you used to score. I'm going in, I can't be stopped. You are, get out my way. I gotta win, act like I'm not the one on the top. We've been it before, you know what I did. I'm on my job, I'm doing my thing. I flex on you boys, I do it again. They said whatever, and I don't just talking, you used to score. I'm going in, yeah. I gotta win, yeah. Heard you be talking a lot, I'm here, so say it again. They sound crazy, I agree with that notion. Come through like strain, look on my motion. I came from the gutter, why you playing around, you don't know. Everybody thirsty, I know, eating granny while around with a Draco. Haters look at me like, oh no, so my teeth look like a red snow cone. My big truck messing up the ozone, if you ride my way, better hold on. I can't be stopped, you are, get out my way. I gotta win, act like I'm not the one on the top. We've been it before, you know what I did. I'm on my job, I'm doing my thing. I flex on you boys, I do it again. They said whatever, and I don't just talking, you used to score. I'm going in, I can't be stopped, you are, get out my way. I gotta win, act like I'm not the one on the top. We've been it before, you know what I did. I'm on my job, I'm doing my thing. I flex on you boys, I do it again. They said whatever, and I don't just talking, you used to score. I'm going in. I was last in my past, now you see I'm the one. They say work, never work, if you work and it's fun. We on a winning team, on top where you find us. We can do anything, non-stop till our time's up. We on a winning team, on top where you find us. We can do anything, non-stop till our time's up. We can do, we coming up in the dirt, they trying to get us to fall, I don't even gotta flex now, boy. It's only win by default. Taking off with the ring, ain't nothing left, man. We the kings, ran with the team, ran with the dream, ran with the one fan in the seats. I pay my dues, check the receipt. Looking at you, you already peaked. Way back then. You can't follow in my tracks, man. Last in my past, now you see.
Spike is not here as the Gambit Superman is a little bit trapped. Made not make much of a difference. How does he get pulled?
Start comes through. There's the showstopper now as it all fades. Asuna.
Well, the scores may have changed, but the script remains the same. We are going to map 3 between FaZe and 100 Thieves, as yet again, FaZe looks really good on one side and then struggles just a little bit to close things out. But they do get the win here on Fracture. And that's huge because we talked about the third map, and we'll talk about that more in just a minute and what that could mean for FaZe. But a good second game coming in from FaZe to bounce back after the first map loss.
Yeah, absolutely. For FaZe Clan here, it was such a tough start in towards the series, losing out just narrowly on map number 1. But here on Fracture, it is clear that this is their home ground. No longer it's an issue of only being able to make it work on one side. No matter what, Babybay will always be creating this space. But what was interesting about this map is it wasn't a story dominated by him. It was a lot more of like kind of the traditional dive agent who's maybe not popping off themselves, but enabling their teammate to success. It felt like this game was very much about Dicey.
Yeah, honestly, roll the Dicey, nat 20s all around. Again on Breeze, this guy comes out and makes it just the range. Like another day, and a lot of the first kills were from him this time. But looking at how he still just secks the map and takes 100 Thieves out of their positions, moves back, gets another one across. They don't know how to answer those if it's not the beginning of the round.
I believe it was Dicey in the last series as well that popped off on map 2. 30 kills last time. It was the third map and the first map where we really saw Babybay take control of the game. Here it felt like Babybay wasn't really hitting the stride, but that's okay. Yeah. Because when you have a guy like Dicey basically just delivering over and over and over again in the background, you don't really need it.
8-1 first kills, first death. Like, you see Dicey, and 100 Thieves is like, okay, how can we put more people in this position to live throughout this experience?
Yeah, and what's crazy about that as well is that 100 Thieves was set up to deny him round after round. It was Asuna with well-placed nades. I think of one on the defensive side where Asuna literally nades exactly where Dicey is. They wait for it to pop, and then he's still there. He's just sitting on the angle. This guy is so patient before using the rendezvous, which is why he's so effective in the early round.
Now, Mimi, there was something in specific you wanted to break down here on the Telestrator from that last map.
Yeah, so this one actually came from 100 Thieves, and this is one of those ideas that 100 Thieves, I think, came prepared to this matchup.
Yeah.
And they came in with some really cool ideas as to what they wanted to do. A round I wanted to take a look at here was in towards the second half. They read that there's going to be a north side crunch, or just a north side play coming out from FaZe Clan, and they're correct in that. You see 2 players here ready to push their way on up. The Breach, the Neon on the other side, so it's going to be a crunch play out of FaZe. The reply from Bang is to very much off the rip shoot out on Molly. We'll see where that lands in just a second, but the round starts pretty normal. 100 Thieves taking space in towards main. They're able to go over towards Sands, and this is immediately heard. You see the players on the north side from FaZe rotating on over to reply to the noise that's coming right here, but as things continue to play on out, you'll notice that the Molly actually lands right inside of this smoke, which means that these 2 players are completely trapped out on the north side, and they have no way to deny in towards the site. Because of this, 100 Thieves only has one side that they have to fight. They have a pinch in towards the site. They can put a Sage Wall down towards the defensive spawn, and they put themselves in a really strong position. As we see things unravel a little bit more, you see that for FaZe Clan, they have utility, they have a Rolling Thunder to make this retake happen. Babybay has eventually joined the 2 players over on the north side, so it'll be a retake from north side and from spawn over by Dish, and whoopsie, we went all the way back to the beginning, but basically how the rest of the round plays out there is they're unable to do so. 100 Thieves establishes themselves in a really good post plan, and that was a pretty consistent story throughout this map, where 100 Thieves was having these good early round ideas, getting that spike on down, but so often they'd either lose a player early to Dicey, or the retakes from FaZe would just be so excellent that they went on out.
Their defensive side, too, one of the plays they had set up on A, read the mind of FaZe, right? They stayed out of the rope line with Breach, put him in A site so the 0 point wouldn't affect anybody. Were able to come through. They were reading FaZe. When it came down to it, though, it was down to fragging overall.
What's actually incredible, too, and it's something we didn't really focus on too much, even just when we were watching the game, is Poised. Poised is actually the number 2 right now for FaZe statistically. 13 multi-kill rounds for the Initiator, and we'll see if that's going to have effect as we get ready to jump into the agent select here for the 3rd and final map in this series. We're moving to Breeze, and this is a map that is potentially problematic because I feel like it's chaos, and that is where FaZe thrives.
Yeah, FaZe is really pretty strong on this map because, like we've been saying all weekend, Breeze is the map where anything can happen. If someone's having a crazy day, they can just win on out, and the aggression suits this map so well. Dicey on the op is going to continue to be a force.
I did like the way that 100 Thieves began to play this. They move one down mid.
Sure.
They'll put somebody at doors. You really have a good anchor on positions. And what we saw with Fracture is if you don't tack something onto FaZe first, FaZe read the round, play the round to themselves. So 100 Thieves have to be quick to the gun here, I feel like. They cannot sit back. They can't wait.
All right, Agent Select is started. Are we hoping for like a Cypher pick or something like a KJ, even potentially something to slow down the pace of play from 100 Thieves?
100 Thieves. They played the Cypher previous. I thought it actually worked pretty well for them, and the choice will be put on through by Stellar. It does a great job at slowing down this Neon. I don't think 100 Thieves have actually played against a team that is rocking with the Neon on this map, so I think this is very well formulated to shut down Babybay. On the other side for FaZe, that means the pressure is very much on Poised and on Flya to be denying those tripwires, figuring out where Stellar is playing that utility, and giving a safe path for Babybay to find the site.
Yeah, exactly. Watch for those darts over Flya's shoulder here. 100 Thieves on defense. I feel like they're going to keep everyone back now. I said go for the gun, but if you have all this information from Cam, if you have tripwires, you wait for things to activate, so you're making the right move. FaZe is a choose-your-own-adventure book. 100 Thieves has to read this right.
Yeah, and just real quick, I think we really have to watch out for Will and Asuna. We talk about FaZe with the aggression, but these two love their defensive-sided pushes down mid.
A third map seems like it was inevitable, as the sequel always follows the mold of the original. And we do end up on Breeze to close things out. The casters are standing by to take us into the action. Doug, Balla, it's all yours.
Thank you so much, Bach. Sequels often suck. Let's be honest. They're not very good. But this one has somehow met the expectations of the first match and over-delivered, Balla, for it to come down to one map To send one of these two teams home is nuts.
I thought you were going to say that sequels always subvert expectations at the ending. Because
nah, man, use too many big words.
Okay.
I can't. That's not me, man.
Next time I'll dumb it down so a sixth grader can understand. No worries. But Des was touching a lot about how Breeze will play against 100 Thieves. They haven't played against the Neon in this map, and quite frankly, no one really has, because FaZe is one of the few teams who is running this, unless you're over in EU. And right away, Dicey, alone in mid, finds 1 kill, but it gets traded by Asuna. And over the last map, I've just realized how much fun it is watching these two former teammates go right against each other in such an important match. Slow since the first initial trade. And we have to see. Right now, Poise is thinking about where to put his knife to potentially catch where Stellar's at, but they're just on the other way. And meanwhile, 100 Thieves is going for re-exploration in halls, which could net them a fast flank here. And because Dicey's gone, there's no trademark here available at all. And they know that.
Clean. I was actually just wondering, you know, we've been talking about this old duo matchup and how much fun it's been to watch. I was curious about how Asuna would perform in the matchup on KO. And well, he seems to be starting off just fine. Baby Bay down indoors. The flash is perfect as he's got 4 on the round. Derek takes the ace away. But man, at least on Breeze, it's going in favor of 100 Thieves.
There we go. Second pistol round win for them so far this series. And they could end up evening things out as we end the day. But what a round from Asuna. He's already gotten an ace today. And he is having quite possibly the best day I've seen since the old 100 Thieves that made international tournament runs.
Even then, bro, like, some of what he's doing, I'd be really curious to see how that compares to his first, for sure.
Sure. Well, let's see. Full game to play still. And FaZe setting up to go fast B here, but there is a knife this time to respond. And that is going to get a lot of info. 3 players tagged, I believe.
Very quick note here, FaZe did buy up. After losing the pistol, they had not done that the previous pistols that they lost, and for now, 100 Thieves are not aware of that. So it's tough to say whether or not they'll be expecting it.
You talked about how it is a tendency for them, and they did get spiked down, so start to put together the picture of when they like to go for that.
Well, players just on the other side. And I still don't know that FaZe have fired a weapon.
Pivoting from FaZe so far. Good to see, but a lot of utility used to split up the site. 100 Thieves is just letting them have the plant. So in my mind, they know
Spike planted.
the buy is a possibility. And they're sticking with what they're good at on gun rounds, which is a full retake setup. We saw how they played this against Ghost. It was exactly these types of rounds. But they have to clear out 3 players here close up.
The flick is clean, but the utility once again proves to be a problem. FaZe are getting this though. Stellar's left alone, and FaZe wins it out. Economy busted as FaZe convert the second.
I mean, there's just so many similarities between the 2 series, man. It is ridiculous. FaZe busting. The pistol round win right away, nullifying any sort of advantage that you could have gotten from that. And this is how you counter this retake setup from 100 Thieves. Lay up close and triple swing, I guess.
Well, I think the problem is too, like, there was no threat from Halls. By the time Stella had the door up to push from there, the rest of his team was already dead.
Yeah, that's correct. Dart through a flash as well. Baby Bay will just take out Asuna instantly if Dicey can't do it. And of course, the vet of Baby Bay 100% can.
The guy just plays 1,000 miles an hour.
And if there was ever a time to wake up for him, it'd be on this 3rd map. He wasn't fantastic on Fracture.
Spike down.
I would apologize to them, but alas.
And the scary thing is if Dicey's form, or excuse me, if Baby Bay is kind of getting back to his form, what was perhaps missing on Fracture, Dicey's continuing. That's the thing, Balla, is in this series, we haven't seen both of them being Dicey and Baby Bay, we haven't seen them be at the top together. right? And when those two guys are on together, that's when FaZe is at their best.
Yeah. Yeah, I would argue the first series that we saw between them, oftentimes that was happening. Just today, you're right.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, just in this series, yes.
Just today, you're right. And we were talking about as well how this map does tend to lead Dicey into positions where he can do what he did on Fracture, which was op like a maniac. Yet to come online with that, but surely will be primed to in the next couple of rounds because he has the Tour de Force online already. Aggro from 100 Thieves, they're playing close. 3 players to meet. Fight's going on.
That's massive, man. You can see the ping on the minimap. They knew it was there, and Will, he was waiting for the flash. It never came, but he turned and kicked the shots anyway. There's the second one. Ultimately falls.
Shot.
That equalizes things unless the res comes back online. That's Superman's job, while Baby Bay provides the cover. Bring Poised back. Exactly what they do, but here's Asuna. Taking damage all over the place, 9 HP. He has to take a step back. He has to reassess it. Stellar still healthy. Spike taking, I don't know that there's a way in. Yeah, I don't think they want it at all. They're backing right up.
Super tough spot to try to break any sort of play, especially with Superman's wall still being up. If that's not there, they could actually try to work picks, but so much fuel used to just keep it up. And this cam will spot fly before it can really be a problem for Asuna and Stellar. So they'll keep the guns going into this one.
I was curious here too, given the decision to save. We saw at the end of the previous round that the two remaining members had 0 credits. They were all the way down to 0. Now you see some of the ramifications of that. You understand why they chose to approach that the way that they did. Only 2 players with full armor, and one of them being Will, has a classic. 1 point.
Strike them down.
We'll see.
And he could end up being a problem here because he's pushing with this classic with Asuna. And there's a firing range on the other side. They were trying to go for the knife from Will, but it won't work at all. And that's pretty much okay, Derek is crispy these last few rounds. Shots that end up being inconsequential, but we've seen Derek on this map throughout group stages and open qualifiers be an absolute monster.
Ultimately inconsequential, you're right. But they are fun to look at. They are cool to watch. But you're right. Not much here. Bang has a sheriff. Just absolutely plucks Fly out of the sky. Understands there's probably one more back there. No, swings off and the timing's just not great. Now Stellar swings around, but that timing's off as well. FaZe get to 4. You saw the one real chance they had at this was, let's try to get Will of the Blades. Let's try to make a play there. And FaZe seemed like they were ready for it.
Yep. And while we talked a lot about how 100 Thieves has not played against the, FaZe on this map, they haven't played against the Neon comp, we do actually have quite a lot of information about FaZe on this comp specifically. They just played it last night against Luminosity, so 100 Thieves happy to go to this map as a decider because FaZe obviously was going to avoid Icebox. 100 Thieves, after the whopping that they got from Xset on Ascent, not wanting to go there either, so they should be ready for this. Will does have his knives up this time, so full buy round.
And the Tour de Force was used from Dicey at the beginning of the round.
Here.
What does he do with that? I think the game plan for FaZe, especially off of this Neon, is to try to get mid-map. Perhaps
Will just smoked
it with it. Oh, but Fly is waiting for it. He was inspecting it. He cuts off any sort of flank, any sort of monkey business.
Fly was great in that series against LG yesterday. Probably my favorite map I've seen from him so far, and the most impactful as well. Baby Bay's gotten into 2 super cheeky positions this round, this being the second of them. 2 players rotating into him.
And that's the thing is, I think if you're 100 Thieves here and you know FaZe is going to push mid-map off of Baby Bay, swinging around either the Viper wall or his fast lane or something,
30 seconds left.
can't just leave it.
There's a player all the way up, Bang. He hears the rotation. He already recognized that this was a possibility. They left the trademark up as well. Will did not take that out. So he is going to be a massive thorn in their side, and they haven't cleared him. No discipline here. FaZe
Patience.
lost the round as long as they can.
Patience.
Oh, he's going to go for the dig. No! Bang! Unfortunately, the wrong decision. And they get the spike down and leave this in a 2v4
Remaining.
situation that just flips entirely Stellar. Last man remaining. Oh, no.
For as good as Bang has been this series, for that one to get away from him, that one hurts. Oh, that one
no.
hurts.
He had a choice there. And he tries to get maximum value instead of going for safe value. And in most cases, no, not in most cases. I think you have to go for the safe value every single time here. The dink, phantom moment, and he's still trying to take him out because he knows the reaction there too. Not happy with that, and who would be? Pause a timeout where he has to stew in it while the coaches and IGLs and everybody discusses what to do next. Probably completely unaware of what just happened.
You go for the spike planter there?
You get the guaranteed kill. With time left, he has to fall back. Yeah, 100%. You could do in the moment. You're gonna go through the different options,
of course.
whatever. But no, yeah, 100%. You go for the spike planter. There's 10 seconds left. He has to recover the spike. He can duck, wait for his team to come back. 100%. Especially if there's a possibility that the guy's escaping. And he's looking away from you. Everybody knows you can't kill somebody who's looking away from you. There. That's one thing I do believe in. I don't believe in 9-3 curses. I do believe that you can't kill somebody who's not looking at you.
It's a safer bet, but sure enough, we'll see something insane on this map. It'll make you eat words. Nice shock dart out to clear out the tripwire. It's a thing you don't see super often because, I mean, you don't really see a whole lot of Cypher and Breeze anymore.
Yep. And we just see Will on Chamber. But the big problem here for 100 Thieves in terms of roles is what would Stellar do in this case? Or what would Bang do? Because Stellar would come play the Viper. Right? It'd just be an odd place to go. Plus, so many teams still relying on this Jet Chamber on this map.
KO becomes problematic too. But either way, FaZe start to slowly but surely push their way out. You see the Vipers pick them out, but the spikes landed on the outside of the pit.
I don't like that.
But they just don't. 100 Thieves don't really have very much as far as guns to fight back here. Derek is here with the Marshall.
Okay.
Let's post up back yellow.
So the reason for the pit is to hold the left side of this, while everybody else is posted on the outside, just spamming the angles. And no defuse possible here, while everything else is safe to fight.
There's Furies, the spams to folks. Really everything there. This Poise gets 4 on the round. Derek with the tap at the end, but just ultimately does not convert into anything as FaZe gets 6.
A lot of people freaking out right now. 6-1, this game is over, 100 Thieves is lost. But you have not been tuning in. If you haven't, welcome.
Yeah.
We've just had multiple halves where FaZe has dominated. And that's a story that's continuing since their last match. So don't panic.
Just don't. Yep. Well, don't believe what you see. Don't believe their lies. One round here coming out for 100 Thieves as they need to respond. For as much as it's been fun that there have been a lot of comebacks, you do have to respect the possibility that this gets out of hand.
Interesting. A Hall's Viper's Pit used instead of one of the sites. And outside of the shock dart that they threw last round to deny the trip that's been planted there, they really haven't been using that to its fullest extent. If they come anywhere, it's through double doors. But idea here is there's a KO ult. They're trying to have everybody play retake on A. hold on to Halls. They can fight through it, drop the pit later on.
There's that KO you were talking about. Not going to tag anyone, though. See the dump of utility. So far, they've used a drone. They've dropped one of Baby Bay's relay bolts. They're going to get the spike down, too. And now the fun starts.
Usually the fun would be starting way earlier than this, because FaZe would be pushing up towards back orange, but they went for a more standard approach this time, and that gives so much space. Look, Will's already in front of the Viper wall of their own.
The thing is, it may be for post-plant Superman. Yeah, there it is. The mollies start to come through, and they're going to have to fight. They have to push forward. You hear the ult come through. Baby Bay as FaZe are fighting the kills that they need. Oh, that was brutal. Prime Gaming Flawless comes through as FaZe don't drop a single member.
And that is now the 8th round in a row that FaZe has planted the spike. 8 rounds. And that would be sending off alarm bells with every single other team. But with 100 Thieves, it's not really, this is how they play, but it's not working. They're not having the success that they had, for example, against Ghost on retakes.
Bang with a nice opener there. Off the Marshall, taking care of Dicey. And there is a little bit more threat towards the middle of the map as you see Derek waiting on the other side of Nest. They've got some presence in Elbow and in Arches. And off of that, they swing, and they're getting some of the kills they need.
More than
Spike down
more
mid.
than
More than
need.
some.
Spike left in a little bit of precarious position for Baby Bay to retrieve, but he does, and 100 Thieves is backed off, and for good reason. Man advantage. Stellar has full vision of this A side right now with the camera. So, yeah, he might be tucked behind Orange in a spot that's like, oh, this is kind of dangerous, but well, wait a second. Superman's the guy who took the angle, so I don't think he saw him, but thankfully everybody's here to recover.
He's pushing forward with the spike. And they just want to frag this out. Rely on the gun advantage that they have as Baby Bay now decides
Player standing.
to pull back, thinks twice about it. Nope, forget it. He just doesn't want the plant
Didn't even
at all.
tap either, so that's not going to hurt anybody. They should have the patience to wait it out. And there we go. 100 Thieves with an eco round win of their own. And I think that is the first one of the series. I think the rest of them, FaZe definitely had some light buys mixed in, but it's been gun rounds all around.
Very well played there from 100 Thieves. And for as much as we've talked about FaZe and the momentum that they've had, that kind of round, seemingly insignificant early, can prove to be massive as far as confidence, as far as momentum, as far as everything swinging back in favor of 100 Thieves.
Poison orb emitting.
You see them start to push mid-map now. Will's already halfway up. So they understand there's no pressure that way.
Oh my wire. Almost pulled that wire back before it got shocked. Flash
pushing. They're pushing. They just want to swing. Baby Bay is on the other side. The door goes up, so they understand they've lost Hall's control. But while that happens, he peels back, and the fight continues towards Caves. Both Poison Superman weak.
The pivoting that FaZe was doing early on in this half stopped since Dicey. The guy they're trying to buy time for, and he doesn't find anything. None of their kills go their way.
And look at that, 100 Thieves. All 3 members on site are looking at Halls right now. They've got to be careful. If the timing is right, it can be problematic, but they turn
Spike
just
down
back
A.
when it's needed to be. FaZe dropped 2 members. Dicey was a nuisance. He was like a gnat that wouldn't go away.
They might not expect the second here, so Dicey has an opportunity to put some misdirection out for Superman.
30 seconds left.
Now they know. Both have been spotted. Derek gets a little overeager. Superman with 7 HP as Asuna stops the potential for disaster as he gets 2 to close out the round.
And they get the 3. And we get to sing the same song and dance. As we have the last 2 maps. Please call the timeout. And a good attempt, I think, in this situation that was obviously they did not get what they wanted out from their original Viper wall.
One enemy
walkout.
remaining.
And Dicey wasn't able to find anything. 100 Thieves played really patient on the backside of that. So they have to approach somewhere else. In the last couple of rounds, it's really been the A side. Even though they had success at B early on, even though Dicey working mid early on also was having some success. And it is shocking to see that this scoreline is the way that it is. Maybe not shocking if you've been watching the series, but specifically just because Baby Bay is not having the best of days. Overall, I mean, I think we can actually say that. I'm looking back at, at the stats on Split, too. He hasn't been the star of the team. He's been the star in terms of, like they're pushing him into positions constantly. I mean, they're still playing as they normally do, and it does find value. Don't get me wrong. But it's just not the same multi-kill level of pressure. But they're still up 7-3. Shock again to break the trip. I think 100 Thieves, ever since swapping Stellar over towards this A side, I think aside from the one round where there was the KO ult and they let the plant go down, 100 Thieves has won since then.
Will tucks across mid-map. The wall goes up. Nice reposition, understanding there's a very good chance that someone's pushing forward, but it's very well set up. Austin is just on the other side of double doors. They know that the threat mid isn't there.
Austin is just jiggling there to take contact for Will to then swing through with his dash. And we will swap sides. All up to Bang. Feels like the last time Bang was super relevant so far in this map. Was an unfortunate situation on the A flank. Now he has to deal with the Brent. They're going elbow. And Austin has re-explored all the way to help Will in this situation.
How does Austin get one there? The flash. He has to. What was that?
So fast.
30 seconds
I think my shoulder was injured just watching that. How is he so good?
He is so fast by turning those flashes. Only 20 seconds. They're walking out still. Bang knows, though. You see how he's playing all the way back, just shouldering the corner. And the jig is up. No wall to really get this plant down either. Is there even a Viper spin to come up? No.
Well, they have way too much to deal with. Austin gets to ace the second in the series. He's gotten 4Ks. He's gotten 5Ks. He's doing it all. And that's the thing, Ball, is when the going gets tough, right? Like when you're in elimination matches, when they're needed the most, you have your clutch players step up.
Oh, man. Star player, clutch player. Asuna. A ridiculous round, too. Look at this. First kill, I'm like, okay, how does he get that? Turns the flash.
Jeez.
Poise is too close to the angle to really punish Asuna while he's swinging his mouse around to dodge that. He doesn't have to go far, mind you. He plays some of the highest sensitivity that is known to man. But still, what speed.
Unbelievable.
And I think he broke his... I think you're right. I think he broke his shoulder.
Yeah, there may be. We're hearing a tech pause come through. Once we figure out what it is, we'll let you know. But I can confirm that it is on the side of 100 Thieves, oddly enough. But I am being told it's not that. But we'll get it. We'll get back into the action as soon as we can. But man, that flick, it's just unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable here. Now, let's start to talk about what 100 Thieves are doing to readjust. Because remember, as you see on the timeline here, it was 7-1 at one point. And yeah, we know that given history, there was a really good chance 100 Thieves was going to come back into this thing, right? They were gonna figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
Ball, how have they done it?
They just swapped from playing retake on A to really fighting it. I mean, you saw the round where, like 2 rounds ago, Will was really close up cave. Swap Stellar onto this side. Oh, hammer denied. But the trips are on A, so not the biggest value. Derek also ulting this away, so right now, Asuna and Stellar still plenty to play for on this site. The KO ult does not do much at all.
No, but Stellar didn't get a single tag with that. 100 series didn't
sure.
find much value. You had delayed.
Here.
Biggest point, because now the cam's back up. Yeah. Now the trips back up on the A side as well.
Now we begin to ask, what second layer do FaZe have to this push?
Welcome to my world.
There it is. There's the second one. The Viper's Pit comes through off of the Neural Theft. They waited out and they dropped the pit to suggest that they're pushing forward, but they're actually rotating out. They've left Superman here. They're going to spot him. He's going to get one kill.
Stellar almost
Now
spammed him.
look at Bang, again, in a position to be the hero for his team, and this time the shots ring true. Oh, and he's able to get the second. That's the spike, too. He's going to have to do it again, though. This time on to Dicey, and Bang not able to do it. The spike still down, though. And you have to deal with Superman.
Does he have time to get back here? Asuna is still staying here. So far, this is one of the most beautifully played rounds from 100 Thieves, prepped for everything in this scenario.
And from FaZe, too, I would argue the layers to this have been gorgeous.
12 seconds, he has time, and he'll have cover of the Viper's Pit. Does Asuna have nade? No. Spam is all he can do.
Oh my gosh.
Spike planted.
Plant, down, Asuna, understanding.
They're going to drop the pit.
Trouble.
They're going to drop the pit and play from distance. And Dicey has the op.
And they have post plants. Superman is 2. How do they get into this? I don't know that they do. The flick's there, but Dicey doesn't land it. Asuna again.
Derek could have gotten half there for sure. He's going to go for it now.
My gosh. Asuna gets 3 on the round, and they're going to get the defuse. A 7-5 half. It really doesn't get any better than this. We'll be right back.
Switching sides.
It was the year 2000 that a man named Maximus Aurelius turned to the people and asked, "Are you not entertained?" And now I ask you at home, are you not entertained? This series has delivered from beginning to end, and now it ends in poetic fashion here. One half to decide who stays alive with Copenhagen on the mind.
100 Thieves with the best half to start off so far in their matches against FaZe. And it looked so hot from FaZe to start out this game. This map was 7-1. That was the scoreline we were at.
I think this is all... So you hear the audio that was made through halls on the ropes, the Viper wall, but they are going to push in through double doors, and they are going to fall in through caves as well. Poise was the only one who was there up tight, and he falls, and really the rest of FaZe do as well. The pistol's going heavily in favor of 100 Thieves here as Fly and Superman are left alone.
Chance to even out here, and Asuna's in an off angle. Oh, finds Superman, but no. Thankfully, Will trades it.
Fly has a frenzy, he has 2 shock darts, he's still healthy. Now also 3 seconds from having his recon bolt up. So perhaps some room to get info. But really no good option here. And now he's been spotted. Good luck. The lead they had is gone.
Yep.
It's gone.
Yep. Well, don't get too far ahead because Hundred Thieves won the pistol and then FaZe ecoed them right away. This time they don't have the economic boon of the spike plant. So they'll save it up. 1 Marshall purchased. A couple of headhunter shots still from Dicey.
They're toying with you by returning it.
All good.
It doesn't look like they're going to buy up at all.
They will push Halls though. No, actually this is a shock molly. Set up and Will's in position! They missed the shock!
Oh no. That could have been a problem. The knife was there too. They had info. Like, Will couldn't have dashed away even if he had prepped it, expecting it. That was a beautiful setup out from FaZe.
And instead of a kill, unfortunately right now they're dealing with the 3 push Halls. And this dash won't matter too much, although it does. Boys gets the kill, and FaZe have gotten the first 2.
Remember, this is without a force. Now the kills start to go back their way. Spectre's so good in those up-close situations like that. Now Dicey shows up with that headhunter. The knife. Oh my gosh, the timing is unreal.
Last player standing.
They've make it a 2v1, and Derek's the only one without the gun advantage. He's got 2 shock darts. He's got to land the shot onto Baby Bay. No question about it. And of course, Baby Bay jumps into his lap. As once again, they thrifty and ball it. You called it. It was done naturally. They didn't buy up. They didn't do anything fancy. They just wanted out themselves.
That is ridiculous. And in a 2 versus 3, mind you, Dicey, seconds from getting that headhunter disabled, gets the 1 tap.
1 enemy remaining.
Across the A site.
I mean, fractions of a second.
Ridiculous, man. And then the Dicey Asuna duel continues.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
On the first 2 maps, by the way, Asuna was 12-8 against Dicey. Now, I don't know, but we'll see at the end of the map. It feels like Dicey has definitely taken a little bit of control over it.
And prioritizing that null command. Also now 1 point away. And remember here, because of how the last round went, 100 Thieves don't have much for buy.
Just trying to make sure he has it for the next round.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so interesting to watch how these teams play around.
Hit him in the face.
How these teams play around the ults is so fun to watch. In that final round of the half, I mean, that was one of the most mind-gaming and beautiful rounds of Valorant I've seen. The fact that, I mean, we'll talk about it next round when it's actually relevant. Superman just holding on the shoulder peak with a molly out. Could isolate the 100 Thieves players if they do decide to dash in. Will could be left on an island as everybody else waits behind the molly in the smoke.
Baby Bay pushing forward as Will falls. And he was trying to scurry over to help because Will had dived, he had dove, he had gotten in deep. Unfortunately, Superman was able to take care of it. Baby Bay spams through and able to take care of both Asuna and Bang. The spike is out of reach. The 2 remaining members of 100 Thieves haven't made their way onto B at all.
Superman played this so perfectly. And even with Baby Bay letting the player through on the backside of him, that was Will. He still gets the kill.
Left.
Still gets the molly off. The vulnerable for Baby Bay to get these last 2. And
1 enemy remaining. Flawless.
that's it.
Yeah, Prime Gaming Flawless comes through for FaZe. Superman gets 3 at the end of the round, and they're starting to build up that lead again that they had. Certainly not as cozy as it once was. They continue to... Oh, my goodness.
30 seconds
That's like jump scare stuff, man.
Yeah, it is. Ridiculous hospital flicks happening today. All day. And now we get to this point where Asuna has his ult. So Watch how FaZe tried to set up. What 100 Thieves was doing was constantly putting the Viper wall on the other side and the trips and cams on the other side of the map. But instead, Superman just ults right away, and now he can't get disabled here. He'll have his gun to play with through the decay of the Viper's Pit the entire time.
Spectre too is Dicey has crept his way up. Tux. Check it. He does!
Good TP range there too, so he has to back up, but he does, and gets the damage done too. Baby Bay tries to punish, but not fast enough on it.
Mid presence heavy out here for 100 Thieves. As they carry the spike in tow. The thing is, they haven't taken Nest, so Fly is just on the other side of peeking there, drops a dart. He's not going to spot anyone, actually.
Really
Maybe a little bit of false sense of safety.
There's the KO,
Once
pop
again.
from Asuna, in towards the A side through double doors.
They've hit this hit before. Door goes up. Poise goes unchecked. Dicey's there too as Asuna falls as the kills get traded back and forth. 100 Thieves snatch a couple back.
Down A.
And bang. Able to take care of Baby Bay. The dinks were good there that time. There's really no way for Fly to get out of there. Spike getting planted. Superman now showing up. He's trying to stop the plant, and Bang was waiting for him. 3K on the round. Fly is going to have to do it himself. Drops a shock dart. Really no damage at all. He's got the Spectre. Moving his way around. He's going to spot one player as Bang gets 4. Perhaps redemption from what we saw in the first half as Bang's back.
Massive way for him to keep this game close and interesting. The hit was strong from 100 Thieves, but FaZe responded instantly, surprisingly.
Enemy remaining.
Superman tries to end the round, but just doesn't have it against Bang, who now has his pit available. Dicey's got the op online for the first time this half. Speaking of his speed.
ult.
Shock does break the trademark, which is not that easy to actually have happen. So you can put it so many different ways.
Dude, 100 Thieves aren't even trying to hide what's going on here. I think the knife hit a couple of players in caves, but they still just barreled their way through.
Unbelievable. Oh, the spam from the ult. Oh, Asuna's moments, inches, centimeters away from dying there.
That takes guts. Oh, the timing out from Stellar's gorgeous. Stops the flank, and now they've all tucked back into caves. Baby Bay tried getting it, no, but he ultimately falls. 3v2 here as Fly is going to try his best as well. The Hunter's Fury. Delay is longer. 2v2 here as Fly trying to jiggle around, trying to dance a little tango. Superman's taking care of Bang. They're talking to fall into Derek. The spam. Oh, he's able to get it, but FaZe trades it back out. He had gotten it to half. The defuse is going to come through as FaZe get to 10.
What a time for FaZe to win that round. After they lose the site, Baby Bay tries to spam it down. 100 Thieves committed to playing off site from the very beginning with the way that they put down that ult. But Bang dies on the rotation. Out of that. And it's just too good from 100 Thieves. Or for FaZe. To recover that situation, and Derek in the 1 versus 2 to tap away at that spike planter. Twice they get the kill through the smoke.
Get out of my way.
Blades online. Asuna with a hero rifle. There's actually, it may not look like there's much, but there's a bit to this here. We'll use his Blade Storm. Asuna's, well, he's Asuna. And then Derek has a Marshall, and he's been pretty good with it this map.
Surprisingly, the only other player on 100 Thieves who's gotten any sniper kills. And even on this map, with such long ranges, they just don't go for the snipes. Don't go for the op.
The question is here, what's the trigger? What is it that tells 100 Thieves that they could go? You've got Bang, who's tucked into halls. his wall's not down. And there, I was wondering where he was. That's the key for Will to go, and Baby Bay's on the other side. The Blades take him down. Boy, he's worse for wear, 11 HP. And now Fly's on the other side. There it goes. The Blades are down. How much more can they find? And then remember, keep in the back of your mind, Bang in a position to flank if they get the advantage that they're looking for. But 100 Thieves are just getting picked apart. Spike's rotating out, though.
Last player standing.
Does not matter. Oh! We talked about the snappiness of Derek. Oh! Okay. All right.
More?
Does he have one shot on the poise? Here we go. Oh. That would have been something special. I mean, that was already special enough, but he had to get that kill across and plant in a position safe away from Superman.
Interesting, too, Bang. They're choosing to play aggressive with the Sheriff to cut off any rotations coming from Nest instead of backing up, given that they had some semblance of control. Either way, it doesn't go their way.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah. Hundred Thieves call a timeout again. The pressure of the moment building. Elimination on the other side of this map for one of these two teams.
And the great thing about it is, no matter what happens here, obviously Copenhagen on the mind, but I think without a doubt, both teams could be super proud of what they've put together this season. Both teams a great success. I mean, 100 Thieves completely revamping their roster coming into this season. And there was questions all around. Was it the right decision? Yada, yada, yada. And the coaching staff they brought in to revamp this team right now is trying to find a solution to get back into this. Their final timeout. And they've got a long way to go still, Doug. FaZe one round away from clinching overtime. 100 Thieves has so much to get through.
Here.
What do they call? No ultimates here. Austin is close to his null command, and you see the Molly initially intended to delay. They have to respect it so much, man. That Molly is just enough of a delay to suggest that somebody could have pushed through, so they cannot just easily waltz their way into caves to get the orb.
Meanwhile, Dicey just got to go through the smoke onto Bang, who's been lurking up halls every single time, but 100 Will responds with his own kill onto Baby Bay. And it couldn't come at a better time because Will has been... Ooh!
Oh my gosh.
He's been bad in first kill situations, but that opening has just netted them away into this game, away into this round, away to starve off elimination.
And the follow-up, that was just icing on the cake. Last bullet, too, before dashing. They've got the rotations cut off. Austin is waiting.
I can do this all day.
Superman never really had a chance. Flya gets one onto Will with the shock dart, but remember, Will only had 30 HP leading into that situation.
And the
spike
still
has
went
been
down.
planted. Yeah. You wonder here, FaZe don't have a lot of money. And I wonder if they're going to save the op, or at least play for exits. It looks like that's the case.
And I think they still have quite a few ults to work with. I believe Poised has his ult. Superman's got to be getting close to his.
Fly has his, yeah.
Meanwhile, Asuna with his KO ult that came online this round with the kill in the bottom of mid. We saw what happened last time they tried to use it. FaZe countered them very, very well with Fly's ult.
And you wonder here if, given that they understand that, because FaZe have shown that, I wonder if they draw up a fake here. FaZe calling a timeout, 2 rounds away from advancing, from moving on to the next round, from putting 100 Thieves 6 feet under in their march towards Copenhagen. You feel, again, the gravitas of the moment as they decide to wait, as the weight of the moment grows. What's the play call?
FaZe has been eluded from top 4 finishes for quite some time.
Since Masters 1, really, right? Last year.
In playoff scenarios. They made a couple runs in qualifiers, you know. But since Masters 1, it has been a rough climb for them back up. Finally revamped their roster. And moments, potentially. Actually, this is probably the deepest run they've had so far. Since that, already. The moments to improve it right here. What's the play call, you asked? Well, they're saving this round, but they've got the op still in the hands of Dicey. And that gives so much information right now. Dicey has been playing a little bit more passively. Asna's faking up with the ult here as well. And it's pulled all the rotations there, hitting the B site. You called it, Doug.
What's there to believe? There's no threat in caves. It would only have to come up through walls, and Dicey's about to find out that that's all it is. And off of that, Baby Bay gets back to B. The dash is out onto the site. Baby Bay waiting. He doesn't have a gun. He hears them thundering down around the site like Clydesdales. Stellar with the spike. Poise with the ult. You've got Bang playing off 2 snake bites to his name. They've got to clear Baby Bay. What was that? They've got to clear Baby Bay. Poise is healthy. That's one big problem taking care of. But Baby Bay's upgraded weapon. He's taking care of Stellar too. Oh. How have they fumbled the bag like this? Flash out.
Elbow push.
Bang turns away. Bang has to do it. He's got to be clutch. He gets 2 big ones. It's all onto Dicey, and he swings around like a madman with the op up close. And he's going to get the defuse.
No, the time. Oh, no.
No way.
Bang with the 1v3 Red Bull clutch again. How? How does he pull this off? The first shot, and he is just the Baby Bay kryptonite. Twice now, the dash is not good enough. Bang! Has just kept 100 Thieves alive in this game, and this game could not have gotten any better than what we just saw.
Strap in, folks. We're not done yet. FaZe still have enough to buy up. They still have enough to get Dicey an operator, but again, it's a glass cannon, no armor to his name. That hasn't been a problem before, and of course he pushes forward, but he gets greedy. The Hunter's Fury to delay. You see the Viper's Pit comes down, as now that's 2 dueling back and forth. Fly is able to find one with his, but the pit from Superman goes down. Courtesy of Asuna as he gets the second, not able to get the third. Baby Bay with ult in hand. Eking every single corner. Waiting to see Derek with the drop. Yeah, that's going to be the cause for him to swing, and Stellar answers the call just fine as 100 Thieves get to 10.
And that should be broken money again from FaZe. Oh, and it's not throwing a 9-3 lead, but it is definitely starting to hurt as the same sort of lead crumbles again. Look at the money. There's just nothing. And this will be the final timeout from FaZe as well. Oh no, it's not even going there. I got juked by the UI.
They juked you. Yeah, they did.
They do have a Hall's Walk coming up. Oh, but the camera spots it already. Everything is covered from 100 Thieves here, and they're building towards a no commands that could come online in the final round.
Yeah, maybe the third of the half. He's now 1 point away from it. If he gets this kill, that's going to secure it. No, Will takes it away. Either way, here Baby Bay uses ult. He's fine value on it. He's probably one of the best ones, but he's only able to get one. Poise keeps him back. The flash, the swing, the kills, they're there! As he gets 3 on the round, but that's all it's going to be, a 1v1. The Neural Theft gives things away. The spike not in hand. Superman knows it, but he's got no armor, and all he's got is a Sheriff. He's going to have to land the shots. He doesn't know.
No, he's trying
He doesn't know. He doesn't know. He didn't know he had the spike.
You heard that, though. It's tuck and tail back. I think he also looking for an extra gun here, because all he got was an upgrade to a Sheriff and then a Spectre.
He hears that's a fire off to suggest that it's just a Sheriff, but he's got the Stinger or the Spectre, excuse me. Stellar.
He has the ult.
Knowing where he is. Does he use it? Oh my gosh, he does. No stone left unturned. The tap. He's gonna try to get it to half. He's just gotta creep forward a step, but Superman pulls off and lands the shots. He gets the defuse as well. A thrifty round to get FaZe to map to series point.
Match point.
And it's the Rise duo that FaZe brought in that saved the day again. And I've been talking all day about Asuna versus Dicey. But we've got the Rise.
Oh, he saw him.
That's crazy.
Sorry, he saw him, and it was because he slow peeked it.
Yeah.
Because he was slowly creeping his way forward.
And Stellar's great in those 1v1s as well, man.
Oh my gosh.
He had so many in the series prior against FaZe. A fast push again, though. FaZe, they're not done. Keeping the gas on.
Note here, Bang is the only one without either a Phantom or a Vandal. And Will has his blades. Hundred Thieves, the entire stage comes to this round. You're gonna have to do it twice to get to overtime. Here we go, the no command, but look at, I mean, they're just playing fully off. FaZe happy to give the side up.
They eventually will be able to respond with their own, and the crazy part is that Will, no weapon here because of the money, so his knives are gonna get disabled. Unless the boys can't get close enough. Oh, Baby Bay with the counter swing! But the kill's going in 100 Thieves' favor.
What? What a lunatic. To swing back out. But Dicey with the op. You can never count him out.
Save call. Oh,
One enemy.
huge.
Saving.
Huge, huge, huge. That's the op out of hands of Dicey. He only has 3.9k, so it's going to have to be a glass cannon in the next round if he wants it.
Oh, Bangy's right below you. Bangy's right below you. Look down. Look at them. They just passed right by each other. And now they're wondering how the heck did that happen? You just walked through there. Perhaps a bit late, but Bang finally gets a kill. 3k on the round as 100 Thieves 1 round away from overtime.
And yeah, instant purchase.
Flya with a judge.
As a Sova player, that just hurts to see.
Stingers, Spectres,
Hey,
light
man,
armor.
The round prior to this, they pulled it off. So do not count them out from closing this game out here. But as it stands, economically, looks like we're going to overtime for the second time this series.
Nothing is safe. Nothing is safe. Dicey with that operator that you mentioned, but he's got plenty of armor to his name. Oh, and they're going to challenge. Well, he's just going to swing out. Yep. That's just too easy. And that's the spike. It's a deeper wall as he wanted to pinch in through halls to flash out. It's not far enough. And the stun is there. It's a 5v3 here. As Dicey has to land the shot here. They're getting pinched in. Oh, they're getting pinched in, but Will from up in halls finds some value. Baby Bay gets one, trades back out. Oh, it's all onto Stellar. 59 HP. The shock dart there doesn't land. He's got the spike in his hands, but he's getting pinched in like a boa constrictor. They know where he is. They want to put him away, and they do it. It may not have been easy AF, but FaZe take care of 100 Thieves.
And that's it. FaZe move on to top 4 and 100 Thieves. Their season, at least this stage, is over as they look forward to LCQ, but such a good performance from them. FaZe in the rematch. They come back victorious after falling the first time, and it was even better of a match than the first time.
And the crazy thing is, Ball, is, you know, we talk about how difficult it is for a team to win back-to-back. And while it wasn't as clean, FaZe pull it off. Again, friends, if you're just joining us, I'm so sorry. You missed a banger. FaZe take down 100 Thieves. We'll be back.
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
How old are you now?
23.
Okay, makes sense.
Cause I did way too many drugs when I was young. Mama told me, children, why you so damn dumb? My doctor told me that I'm fucking up my lungs. 4 more years and I'll be in the 27 club. Most my friends are dead now, living in my head now. Wishing I was there now, fucked up in the head now. Said I should've died at 17. Now I'm 23, felt like I outlived all my enemies. I'ma be the last one in my family tree. Now the drugs is catching up to me. Heaven or hell, I go to either one. The recent loss is why I keep her. Most my friends are dead now, living in my head now. Wishing I was there now, fucked up in the head now. I'm only 23. I live my home easy. Always wanna judge, should've set my side, but I shut the fuck up. No, I still think about her. Shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up. Most my friends are dead now, living in my head now. Wishing I was there now, fucked up in the head now. I'm only 23. I live my homie. Said I should've died at 17. Now I'm 23, felt like I outlived all my enemies. I'ma be the last one in my family tree. Now the drugs is catching up to me.
People always talk about my come up, cause I've been going all every summer. Pussy wanna talk about numbers, but your manager buy him swipe show so bummy, ain't nobody out now that can touch us. Put you boys down if you run up. Acting like you hard with the run up, but if it ever dropped then your ass get the running and running. I'm too cash when you see me, already seen with no TV, already paid with no CD. Why you trying to sell MP3s? Just bought some dope cause I know that we low. My money is up so the doors never slow. Smoke till I go, then I run to the stove. Brick of the woods and some water to pour. When we ride slow up in them lanes, bitch. Bones, take your favorite rapper out the game, bitch. White trash, I could never ever change, bitch. Still the skinny white pimp with the black blade, bitch.
Bitch, don't get too comfortable. Better not get too comfortable. Bitch, don't get too comfortable. Better not get too comfortable. Bitch, don't get too comfortable. Better not get too comfortable. Bitch, don't get too comfortable. Better not get too comfortable. 4-5 hoes off a million, I'm gaining. Yeah, swapped out the poker hunters, go and get a genie. 3-4 stacks on a chinchilla beanie. Got a cup full of mud and Drake and Celine. Yeah, can't think for yourself, gotta think for the team. Yeah, fuck me like a star, gotta treat me like a king. Yeah, gotta roll with a chopper with a certain amount of bling. Yeah, bitch, don't get too comfortable. Better not get too comfortable.
Yeah, what it do, General?
Yeah, swerving a bulletproof coupe. Yeah, if I got to, I shoot out the roof. Yeah, turbo 63, short a little blacker. Knees, I keep it a G.
I just keep it on just chatting because I'm always switching games.
I put the fragrance on you, pooch. Got my attention.
What you up to though, bro?
Put on the Rolls Royce intervention. It's hard to stay sober when I'm spinning. It's hard to stay faithful when you winning. Showing you grateful and independent. Fuck all the danger. Spray out a stranger, you get too close. I say it 300, but the rain really fold. You talking back to me, I'ma cut your throat. Bitch, don't get too comfortable. Better not get too comfortable. Better not get too comfortable. Yeah, bitch, don't get too comfortable. Better not get too comfortable. Better not get too comfortable. 4-5 hoes off a million, I'm gaining. Yeah, swapped out the poker hunters, go and get a genie. 3-4 stacks on a chinchilla beanie. Got a cup full of mud and Drake and Celine. Yeah, can't think for yourself, gotta think for the team. I'm thinking colossal, thinking about flying the vibes out, going tribal. I know I'm impeccable, seen what these niggas can do when that shit get federal. Caught them between, eating up a queen, eating up a bean like vegetables. Step out on the scene, living like a king. I know this game can be treacherous. They was thinking that it couldn't be done and it's tangible. Tell me how you get this comfortable, you wearing a wild animal. Simply did it because they said it couldn't be done, and I went beyond. Can't even pay for my son, he on probation, they revoked this bond. Yeah, gotta light another blunt, yeah, I'm not a publicity stunt, yeah. I done been through more shit this month than a nigga been through in a lifetime. Cut a few niggas and bitches off, they were just wasting my time. Pretty and fine, the way these girls design, hope she can read my mind. Bitch, don't get
What you about to get into, General?
собачье! Жлоб вонючий! Вон он! Вон он, блядь! Ебашь его! Тут наших бьют! Влад петух! Гнида! Опы! Голова! Хуйло, вот хуйло! Конец тебе! Пацаны, да он там совсем ёбут! Валите его! Да ты чё там пиздишь? Красота! Ну, пипец, сука!
I'm so close to fucking deleting this game. I can't stand when I see my FPS just sitting at 60, dropping to 50. Like, this game is so shit, man. Why I get such low FPS, man. Yes, fucking frames I'm getting, man. Fucking bullshit.
Too comfortable. Better not get too comfortable. Better not get too comfortable. Yeah, bitch, don't get too comfortable. Better not get too comfortable. Better not get too comfortable. 4 or 5 hoes up a minute, I'm getting. Yeah, swapped out the Pocahontas, go and get a genie. 3, 4 stacks on a chinchilla beanie. Got a cup full of mud and a draped in saline. Yeah, can't think for yourself, gotta think for the team. Bitch, don't get too comfortable. Better not get too comfortable. Better not get too comfortable. Yeah, bitch, don't get too comfortable. Better not get too comfortable. Better not get too comfortable.
Yeah.
I want anime.
Yeah, we're watching.
I just wanna dive into you. You can swallow me whole if you want to. As we slow dance in the dark, let me kiss you, babe, while we play the part. You know that it's all the things that you said. It's all the things that make my heart start beating. It's all the things that you said. It's all the promises that keeps me breathing. I'll feed you all the lies if you want to. I can lift you up like a new divine. Come here and feel this heart of mine. You know